Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Kucherov, a shot, and it's stopped by Swayman, and now he goes after somebody out in front.
That's Hagel in front of the net again. Swayman is hot.
Vasilevsky's coming out across center ice. Swayman and Vasilevsky may go. Swayman tells Vasilevsky, take your mask off, and he obliges.
This is crazy.
We played 55 seconds. Nebraska's second possession of the game. DK with the ball on the right side. It is Mass hopping around with it on the elbow on the right side. Three ball good by DeMarcus Lawrence. Left side, Sandfort, another three. Other net! Got it! Ringo. Sandfort's got two trays. It's 9-4 Cornhuskers. Coming to it is Jacobson. 6 on the shot clock. Jacobson with a hezzy. Underneath out to Hoiberg. Got a good look. No good. Hoiberg's got it. Gives to Mass. The crowd at a hush here. Huskers need to score to get them going. Here's Mast in the free throw circle. Reverse layup, good with the left hand. That'll light it up. Jacobson with a finish off the assist from Mast. Frager inbounds Jacobson. Right sideline with it is Lawrence back in the game in the left corner. Frager again puts it up. Bang! Ringo. Frager's back. 17-15 Cornhuskers. 2 threes by Frager.
Kostic, great three-point shooter, and he drills it. Nelson working off this screen. Swings it back out, open look. Eric Mulder cans the three. 61-43. Smith, Lawyer, bingo.
Boy, how to keep a crowd quiet.
Perry gets free for the three. Oh, he ties it. My goodness. 1 second left in regulation. Tied at 76. And we are headed to overtime here at Pauley.
Good morning. Welcome in Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by NextGen Male Medical. That's DB. I'm Ravi, Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. What's up, DB?
How we doing?
Oh, we're doing all right. How you doing?
Oh, I'm good. I'm down about 16 hours of sleep, but outside of that, once I get rid of these bags, I'll feel better. You look a little sleepy too.
I did not sleep great last night.
I didn't sleep great Saturday.
What happened
last night? I don't life.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean
just regular DB not sleeping stuff, or
no, I mean it's a lot dogs stuff. I'm tired.
I'm tired.
I get tired. Lakers suck, so that's good. Still waiting on opening day for baseball. That'll be fun.
We're getting there. I'm actually a little excited. I'm excited about baseball.
I'm super excited.
Well, of course you are. You got every good player in the country on your roster.
I mean, I think that's a little bit of a stretch, but as my man Carell Buckhalter would say,
is it?
It's time to stretch.
No, I thought I'm excited. The Red Sox, they put together a nice little pitching rotation there.
You guys get people out.
I like that. Maybe the young prospects will start to hit. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
I would fast forward all the way to that.
Well, that's kind of the variable here. You go and get established pitchers, and you're waiting for the young guys to hit.
Variables.
We like variables.
I was happy with the Senior Bowl, and apparently you can only play 3 games in Gainesville and still put yourself in position to be a top 15 pick, like Brother Banks, a D lineman who annihilated. It was good to see what's his buckets more.
Who?
From Michigan kill everybody.
Oh, yeah.
In the Senior Bowl like he did the Big Ten. Too.
Yeah, it's not just us.
I was like, whoa, guy's pretty good. May want to block him out there in that wide 9. May want to get out there to him. Nah, man, but it was one of those sports weekends.
Yeah, busy weekend. A lot going on.
I am sad. Mac helped out. Coach Mac helped out with some late tickets, and I didn't. He was very. We didn't say much at all. A couple of emojis. So I felt myself. I feel bad.
Why is that? Just how things went, or
they're pretty bad.
Yeah, no, it's rough. It's rough out there.
They're pretty bad, and there's guys that I have an emotional connection to.
Sure. Yeah.
That I really want to do good things.
Yeah, like you're a big Josh Dix guy.
I'm a huge Josh Dix guy. I'm a huge Jason Green guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
that's tough. It's tough to watch Josh struggle at something he's been good at his whole life.
Yeah, and
that's where I feel for him.
You could just totally tell, like his confidence is pretty shot, and he's defending well.
He is, yeah.
But I'm also for the 5th year in a row, I'm over Donnie Marshall.
Is it just 5 now? God. I thought it might be longer than that.
Well, the longer I do what I do, the more you'd think it'd be the other way. Like I would be a little more grace.
No, this is exactly how I felt about Stauskas.
There's just some things like you just gotta, and I get it. You do a ton of games.
Mm-hmm. But I actually think that should help you.
But the only thing that you talk about is the 1 or 2 things that you got in,
like the pre-pro meetings.
Yeah. Like we I don't know what we're doing.
I think so. Here's the thing that bothers me the most about it, right? And we don't have to do the broadcasting thing, but especially when you're Donnie Marshall and you do a ton of Big East basketball, that actually that should help your prep.
Yeah.
Right.
You've seen
multiple, almost all the teams multiple times.
I would concur.
Like it's harder to do a one-off where you're like doing a bunch of prep for one game.
And you really get
I
get it. You get tested in blowouts. Lord knows.
Sure.
I would know.
Yeah. It's harder.
But
because you can't you can't just like analyze the game because it's like, well, we're up by 30 here, so what are we gonna do?
Yeah, it's weird. It's very, very strange. I don't. I mean, you guys shot 24% from 3. I shouldn't say you guys, but it's really tough.
It's rough out there.
It's really tough to watch.
I mean, I've mentally fast forwarded to next year a little while ago.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell in the group text because you've been upset for a couple months.
Yeah, and I know, I don't know. It just seemed pretty early like this just they weren't gonna be able to figure this out.
Yeah, that's weird because I don't know. I think you'd have been a little, maybe not.
It's a stylistic thing for me. It's part of the reason. I know people are like, well, they were 20-0, now they're 20-2, but it's part of the reason I was drawn to Nebraska early this year. Stylistically, they play a very appealing type of basketball. That has never been the case this year and for sections of last year early with Creighton as well. Like, just not a style of basketball that speaks to me in any way whatsoever.
I'm going to ask you again, and I think your answer will be the same.
Okay.
Can Connecticut win a national championship?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. They can.
I think so. I still don't totally know what to do with Illinois because without the Underwood part of the equation, I feel differently about them. I think
you're going to have to get over that.
We'll see.
There is a type of team. That's a fast transition. But there are some similarities outside of Terrace Reed.
Okay.
To Illinois.
Okay.
Is the skilled long guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously, Reed makes UConn a little different because he's a big cock strong.
I'm not in love with solo ball.
Solo ball. That's the question I should have asked because I do ask it once a week. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Is solo ball good?
So if I say no, it makes it sound like I think he's bad. It's more I don't trust him to do what they need him to do.
He's on like a little 3-week heater, though. No, he was still only – he was 3 of 7 from behind the stripe. I think he was 4-11.
And I don't know his numbers off the top of my head. I'm just going by eyeball test here, so I'm going to look him up right now. I don't love the way it looks. Oh, yeah, that's exactly what I would have expected. Okay. 41 from the field, 29 from 3. Like that's what
He's been much better the last 3 weeks.
That's fine, but like the other part still counts, right?
Sure, but you always want to be playing well when it matters.
Absolutely, but give me another like month and a half and we'll see if he's still playing well.
All right. So, should I to similar because I think the national media is now gravitating towards solo ball. Clearly, the national media likes Wagler. I am not just swimming upstream, but I've watched him a ton. I like Wagler. I don't love him.
So it depends on like what status we're putting him at.
That's probably a good. Oh, you're like the amazing Daniel. If we're going to have a conversation, we would like.
I'd like to set the terms. I'd like to set context here.
Okay, that's fine because I think that's important.
Because if we're putting him in the
Do you know? Can I just say this before you did?
absolutely.
So on 2 different college basketball shows,
Mm-hmm.
they did blind resumes of top freshmen, and he made the list.
I mean, I get his numbers are good.
We're
this
only
year.
doing 5.
5 is not enough to include him on the list.
I wouldn't think so, but
10 probably is.
Yeah,
for freshmen.
even 8.
Yeah, 7 or 8 is probably where.
But I was like, really?
So here's the thing: if we're trying to put him
So
in,
that's
totally understand,
that's where my thing is,
and I don't totally disagree. If we're looking at the top freshmen and we're talking about, hey, like Peterson and Boozer, I was thinking Kingsley, so I was kind of switching them.
Ben Kingsley?
No, from Houston.
Oh yeah, Flemings.
Yeah, Kingsley Flemings.
Flemings. Yeah.
Oh, Kingston. Why do I always want to call him Kingsley?
Yeah, Kingston.
I'm probably a big
Smart
Ben
dude.
Ben Kingsley guy. No, so you've got Kingston, Flemings, you got Boozer, you got Peterson, you got DeBonsa, you got Acuff,
Yeah, Caleb Wilson.
Caleb Wilson. I'm missing at least Cole Pete. Cole Pete's further down on the list, I think. But I like him.
I like him more than most people do.
I don't know what he is as an NBA prospect.
Yeah, I think the same thing about Boozer, but you guys look at me like I'm crazy.
Positional size, Boozer makes more sense, so I think people are more willing to give him a pass.
Yeah.
So I think that's
Well, at least if you had to extrapolate.
yes, yeah.
I understand.
And then like Wagler's probably somewhere in the Koa Pete-ish range for me, like 7 through 8, 6 through 9, somewhere in there. So if we're talking about him in that context, we're fine. If you're like, should they be talking about him instead of Flemings and Peterson and Acuff and DeBonsa, then no, that's probably the wrong conversation.
Yeah, they did blind resumes, and he was on the 5.
His numbers are really good. I think he's especially late. I mean, he's like 20 points per game in the last 10 or something. So like he's playing really well.
Was it Billis? Now I get this is hard.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen this on TikTok, right? Where you get like 5 fast food places and they turn them over one by one, and you have 5.
You have to blind.
So you have to blind.
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
So I think DeBonsa might have been the one that got left out. To be honest,
DeBonsa's numbers are pretty good. I mean,
I know
DeBonsa's numbers are better than Peterson's. Like they just are.
Don't do that.
Listen, they are. Like if you're just looking at numbers, I'm not talking about as a prospect.
No, I get it.
But if you're looking at numbers, the only thing that Peterson has on DeBonsa is 3-point shooting, which is fine. Like that's important. I'm a fan, obviously, but DeBonsa has more points per game. He rebounds better. He's a better playmaker, even at a not as much playmaking position. I
just think he's a much better player.
That's fine, but if we're doing blind resumes, I don't get the tape, right?
Yeah.
So leaving DeBonsa off in that situation, unless you know it's DeBonsa and you're like, I'm not really a fan, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Like you can't unless you're just like, hey, I only care about shooting, in which case you would put Wagler on because he's shooting like 45% from 3 almost or something.
It's weird too, isn't it?
Like, I mean, he shoots the crap out of the ball, which is why I like him. But also, if you're just looking at numbers, there's no way you leave DeBonsa out. He's at like 24. He's at like 24, 6 and 4.
But he has those weird stretches where he just
disappears a little bit.
Yeah.
There's a little. Listen, if you sit here and tell me like little Andrew Wigginsy, where he kind of floats through some sections of the game, I don't have a defense for that.
That's actually pretty good count.
Thank you. I just came up with that.
That's pretty good.
Like athletic, similar profile.
No, Wiggins is a better athlete than DeBonsa.
Sure, but size-wise, positionally, like both 6'8", 6'9". Wiggins is a freak. Like
the float thing.
Yeah, you just kind of float through games.
DeBonsa isn't that athletically.
No, not the same as Wiggins.
As a matter of fact, for a top 3 pick, between he and Boozer, like neither one of those guys are what I would call like twitchy, bouncy guys.
No, they're not like.
And they're both going to probably be top 3.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think they're further along basketball sense than some of the guys we look at in the past that have been like, oh, freak athletes, let's take a flyer here. But no, like I'm not going to put them in the category of like the hyper elite NBA level athletes.
All right, so we get you so eloquently or a sarcastic Richard face.
Already?
A couple weeks ago where you go, well, I have new information.
Yeah.
It's fluid. Can I change my mind? Which is your delivery.
That's fair. Yeah, that's
And
pretty
I
close.
was
That's
kind of
pretty
like,
close.
oh, that was a little much, but sure.
Well, it's hard for you because you agreed with the sentiment, even if you hate the tone.
Yeah.
Which is sort of the story of this entire show.
Yep. Oh yeah. I saw a thing that said 95% of couples problems or 5% of arguments are an actual philosophical disagreement. The other 95% is tone.
Like how you said it. I mean, that's fair.
I'm like, that's work. Is Kansas good?
Is Darren Pearson going to play?
Well, yeah. I think he's fine.
He didn't. He's only played about half the time.
I don't know what his problem is.
I don't either. Like,
he might just be waiting for. It would be different if his expression ever changed too. So that's kind of funny.
Like, I'm having a really hard part. And this is like a little true serum here. The fact that he doesn't play very much is part of the reason I really struggle with him.
I know.
Like, he looked really, really good in the first half, and then he's like, I can't play the last 17 minutes. And I'm having a hard time. Like, did we tweak the ankle? I didn't see anything. Like, I'm not trying to.
Because I wasn't all gushy like those guys were during the broadcast when Kansas was on a heater.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, this Kansas team can win the Big 12. And I was like, they've played like this 2.5 times total all season.
Like 2-3 times all year. Yeah.
So I thought that, and they still have to defend.
I'll be honest, that game made me think less of BYU than it did more of Kansas.
So
you weren't in on BYU,
yeah,
which is fine.
I don't like BYU.
And I started backpedaling the last week or so on BYU, where I'm just like, yeah, I don't think what I thought I saw early is actually going to be a thing. So I'm going to have to kind of do a little.
All right, so I'm gonna
do my best.
I'm gonna circle all the way back
because
I started with UConn, and I went to some teams that I think are kind of trendy. By the way, I just need Florida to win like 4 in a row.
Yeah,
because they're good.
They are really good.
Is really good.
Yeah,
but then there was last 2 weeks.
Yeah, then you lose to Auburn, and you're like, I don't think Auburn's very good.
No, they're not.
Yeah. You lose to Missouri, and you're like, I don't think Missouri's very good.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
And this is a guy, you know how I feel about Illinois.
Yeah.
Does Illinois give you 6 in a row vibes? Kobe, that's not what Kobe. Sometimes your comprehension is a little sus.
They're at
I said for a top 2 or 3 pick, he's not an elite level athlete. He doesn't have elite level athleticism.
Yeah, we're talking about,
and no one would disagree with that.
We're already talking about like a very high level at that point, and then we're separating out.
Not saying the guy is a below the rim player.
But
that's not how he doesn't beat you with his bounce.
Yeah, it's not like Peterson can and does, right? Like there's a difference athletically between those guys. Like I totally understand what you mean. It's the same way when you say you don't like Wagler, I mean, like, you don't like him in the top 4, but you like him in the top 8.
Yeah, so
like that's a difference.
I thought my athleticism comp was fair with Trey. They have similar movements.
Which Trey are we talking about?
He played at Creighton, and he was
Alexander.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know. You're like, there's Trey Young, there's Trey McGowan. Like, I don't know.
I said Creighton.
Oh, I didn't. I missed the Creighton.
Maybe
part.
I did. No, I'm not gonna say I did.
Okay.
Jacob will go back and read that thing, and he's gonna say he did.
If you did, I missed it. If
Trey
you didn't,
Alexander. He gives me Trey Alexander movement.
Totally fair. If
like
Trey
not
was,
elite, like
if Trey was 6'6", though, we're having a different conversation.
Yeah, but the funny thing is Wagner almost never goes left, and people don't make him.
Sure,
he gets to come off those screens. The only time he goes left to come off those screens, it's to shoot. It's almost never to dribble.
Totally fair.
I'm telling,
no, that's totally fair.
I watch these guys a ton, and
that's totally fair.
Make him put the ball in his left hand.
Here's my thing, and I said this in the chat.
He said, "There you go."
If you go,
I gave you context originally.
It's fine.
Do you like when I just talk to him one-on-one?
I mean, I do it to
I
chat
feel
all
like
the time.
I need to help him.
It's all right.
But then
you're trying to get him back on Team DB. I get it.
No, he's he's a high draft pick.
I totally understand that. I don't have any qualms about that.
I was going to put him on my unprotected, but I don't think anybody else wants him.
I don't know. I'd maybe fight you over Kobe a little bit. We've had
You're just being different now.
No, we've had a good couple weeks, Kobe and I.
We got some years.
I know. I got new information.
Okay. Anywho, 6 in a row vibes.
I really struggle with the Underwood portion of this, but I also have to look at it and go, nobody thinks John Calipari can coach his way out of a wet paper sack, and
you saw his act,
and he's got a national title and several Final Four appearances. So
Pope was like,
yeah, I know. I don't like Mark Pope.
Is it his delivery?
I think it's just his whole vibe.
He's confident.
He is, but he also kind of just this is not a good reason. I know this. He looks so sloppy all the time. Like he just looks disheveled.
Yeah.
He looks like a high school
science. Just finished a pickup game?
No, he just looks like he's a high school science teacher that's just like over trying to teach like remedial chemistry to somebody, and then he's like, I gotta go to practice now. That's the vibe that Mark Pope gives me, and I don't like it.
So
for 6 in a row for Illinois, yes, they can. I want to make sure they can defend at that level.
They're bigs, like touchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're finesse.
Yeah.
They're super finesse.
I do think they would need the benefit of at the highest level, like if you get into like past the Sweet 16.
How many points do you think Duke versus Illinois? What do you think that game looks like stylistically? Would that be pretty basketball? Yes, yes, it would. You let Duke play like that?
Yeah. Yeah. That's probably fair. I don't love Duke, but yeah.
I don't either, but
they play pretty basketball.
They're good.
If you could give me that in like the Elite Eight, I'd be thrilled.
Although how early did you start on Saturday?
Like watching games?
Yeah. Did you catch any of the Virginia Tech?
No, I didn't catch Virginia Tech.
Yeah, so sometimes Duke just doesn't defend.
Oh,
sometimes they just don't defend.
I caught like the last 12 of that one. Yeah. So that's the problem, but I kind of think the problem with Illinois too is you like, hey, are they going to defend at this level for 6 consecutive games? And I don't know if they will.
I wouldn't. Their metrics are they're fine.
Yeah.
But when you watched them play, and I did say, I had somebody text me yesterday, hey, that was a heck of a first half, and right away I was like, I'm super concerned. Nebraska's not getting anything easy.
Mm-hmm.
It was long range heater threes.
Yeah.
Right. And so that was a super pause for concern because they weren't getting anything around the rim.
That can sustain you for a minute, but at some point that has to open up the easier stuff, and it just never did for Nebraska.
And what they end up shooting, was it 42%? Because
from the field?
Be honest. Don't look.
Okay.
Oh, shoot.
I haven't.
What did it feel like Illinois shot from the field?
Just shy of 50, probably.
Yeah, they shot 44%.
Okay, it's a little lower than I would have thought.
That's significant, though.
Yeah,
there's a big difference.
No, but putting 44 and 48, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I thought Illinois shot it better than that.
I think so too. How many offensive rebounds did they get?
A ton. Do you know what they average?
Offensive rebounds per game? No, I don't.
13.
I'll say it's double digits
every night out, which is why I was telling TK, like, you guys,
Nebraska
has to keep them off the glass.
So they got 11. Let me see if I can get second chance points on here.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just they got so many easy baskets in the paint.
So that's the problem is when you get that many easy baskets, it feels like they shoot a way higher percentage than they did.
Yeah.
And also when you have like Wagler kind of hit a heater late, or like there was a stretch like mid-second half.
Yeah, he had 23 in the second half.
Yeah. Like 8 of those were free throws, so like whatever. But
you like that Herky jerk? I just don't. There's just something about his game where I'm like, he's good. I don't know about like running my team.
He definitely needs work as a point guard. Like if I could convince him, hey,
And to his credit, he's a freshman, and he's learning to play without Kylan.
Yeah, I was saying, and
There are some Illinois fans that think they're better without Kylan, and I'm like, careful. No, careful.
So here's what I think the ideal scenario.
I don't love Boswell, but you're better with him when those two are going together.
Here's what I think would be the ideal scenario for Illinois. I think you need this stretch where Wagler can kind of sort of bloom a little bit without Boswell.
Yeah.
If he can come back like late February so that he's got some time to get ready for March, and then they're both playing at a high level, that makes Illinois super dangerous. That would be like in the most myopic, idealistic, utopian version of Illinois season. That's what I would want to happen if I'm them, right? Let Wagler figure out he's really, really good, and then bring Boswell back in time for him to get his legs back.
Because now we're hearing this. Everybody's in love with Illinois again.
So here's the thing that.
And I'm not just being the contrarian because I've been in love with Illinois, but they do have some not major. They have some flaws.
Yeah.
So and I'm looking at I don't know if they could out Duke. Right? They certainly would struggle their brains out with Arizona, as does everybody. So that's not a hot take.
Yeah. They'd have to.
UConn's offense would drive them. Like, I don't know who'd guard Demery Jr. Like, UConn would have just a couple of bad matchups.
Yeah, they have some matchups that you'd struggle with.
They'd have because somebody would have to take, Stojakovic would probably take Bryson or Braylon or who's Opie Taylor that shoots all the threes. He just came back from the concussion. He's super nice.
What'd you call him?
Opie Taylor. What? Bryson Miller.
Let me find him here.
Braylon Miller.
Braylon Mullins. Braylon Mullins. I was like, I don't remember a Miller, but yeah, no.
I have all sorts of nicknames. So I was.
That's the problem. Is I'm like, I know you're talking about somebody, but like Opie. I wasn't gonna get there from Opie Taylor.
So I knew it was Mullins because I was gonna call him Chris.
Oh, okay.
But that's just Mullen.
Yeah.
Munza.
Close enough.
And they would have some bad matchups, but boy, they would stress the heck out of UConn's interior defense.
Oh, for sure. That's the problem with most teams with Illinois is they're so their skilled bigs are actually probably a little tougher than people give them credit for. Is that fair?
I wouldn't say that.
Maybe not tougher. I don't know.
I mean, maybe. I won't split hairs. If you said more physical.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
That's what I mean.
They'll touch you more than.
Yeah. And they'll rebound.
Because they let them play. They let them super play yesterday.
Yeah. They'll rebound. They'll get inside. They'll be more physical. Typically if you're a guy, hey, I've got 3 European front court bigs that are all pretty skilled. The first thing that doesn't come to your head is pretty physical still.
Do you know it's because of the passing? They don't post. So they're not playing back to the basket touch and bang. It's moving, it's cutting, it's passing. And then all of a sudden they get these easy it's like they get these hard diagonals and guys just dash and it's like, oh, he's open.
Yeah, it's kind of
a
dive, seal, move.
So the way they play is
no, they play. I mean, especially for my eye, they play a super appealing style of basketball.
They're tough.
That's
a really good, but I still, and it's weird, especially off the weekend to go back to the 1, 2, 3 seed lines of the top 12 teams. We could probably get all 12. And I don't know if you pick 10 people, would we get the right order?
The right order or the same order?
The same order.
Okay.
Of the top 12.
I don't know what the right order is anymore.
It's hard.
Yeah.
You know who you're going to have a hard time getting over that could be on the 3 line or better?
Who?
BYU.
Yeah. So they're currently bracket matrix. I think this is.
Is this the composite?
Yep. So I think this is mostly from yesterday. So that'd have been. They played Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that would include that one. So they're on the 4 line in most of them.
4?
Yeah. Which feels about right.
And it's the Big 12, so they'll have plenty.
Yes, they'll have lots of opportunities to hop back up there. But
what line is Tech on?
Texas Tech they're the top 4 seed right now. So they're right on the border between. There's not hardly any gap between them and Vanderbilt on 3 and 4.
God, they laid an egg.
Yeah, that was rough.
So what'd you make of, if you like Illinois,
Mhm.
which was the case that I was trying to make before the game, so we didn't change our narrative about Nebraska?
Yeah, yeah.
Then Nebraska's still pretty good.
Absolutely.
They didn't even play that well.
No, I thought, well, so there's a couple things. I thought this was a really tough game for their front court not to play well. And Matt still clearly was not 100%. Like, his legs weren't there.
Can I go back to something you guys hammered me on?
Sure.
That's why you needed a Garcia type yesterday.
Sure.
Long
type, yes. Garcia type, yes. Type is a very important word there.
Yeah, but you kept trying to pin me down to a
Well, because at
Garcia
first you
himself.
said Garcia.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's the natural choice because he actually plays, and I know what he does.
I know what he does, too. That's the problem.
He didn't have to score. I didn't need him to score yesterday.
Fair. Yeah, you needed some physicality.
Yeah.
That's
and
totally
his
fair.
length.
Yeah. I think not Leo Curtis. I think Jared Garcia type is fair. I don't think he's a good enough version of that type to be super helpful to them in extended minutes.
I said something 3 weeks ago. I want to know if it makes sense now that you actually watched him.
Okay.
If you're Stojakovic, why do you shoot threes?
Oh, no, I understand. I talked to Evan a lot, right?
His shot selection would drive me up the wall.
Yeah, I talked to Evan a lot, right? Like, I'm fully aware that Stojakovic should not be shooting that rock.
Gosh. Like, just put it on the deck.
I said something about Berke yesterday. Because he's
I kind of agree, BG.
What do you say?
I'd like to have seen Garcia.
Yeah, with the way that I thought Mast was struggling, like in terms of just his legs and stuff, it wouldn't have killed me to, maybe play some Berke at the 5 and Garcia at the 4, see what happens.
You did not get the good Buchton gel that we were hoping for.
No, you didn't. He really struggled. And
did the 3 give you hope though?
No, I actually hate it when he makes a 3 early because I know there's more coming then. That's the word. Like, here's the thing. He's what, like he's in the 20s on the season, right?
Yeah, like 7%, 27%.
So here's the problem. If you're below like 34% from 3, and I'm your opponent, I hope you make an early one.
So early, how about, was it Nick? Yeah, it had to be because he's the analyst. He's like, yeah, he's open for a reason.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh.
No, Berke is 100% open for a reason, guy. Yeah. He just is.
He only shot 3, so that's fine.
Problem
is Nebraska doesn't get to the stripe enough. So if you ask me why what's the one thing that the first thing I would think of to keep them out of an Elite 8 run, they don't get enough easy baskets.
Yeah, there's no freebies.
And they don't get to the line enough.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's something they're gonna have to. That's something they're gonna have to figure out.
I think that's one of.
And you had 62 possessions, and on 27 of those you scored.
I think that's one of the biggest differences when Mast is healthy and playing well is when you initiate offense through him. I do think that opens some things up to get easier looks.
Yeah, so I'm not. Of course, I'd like him to score, right?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
but
I don't care about that as much.
It's where the offense is initiated from.
Like, you need a couple buckets. Like, you need some, obviously, right? Like, if he's on the floor and plays that much, like, you need some scoring out of him.
And he does give you a different look if you're going to play that real stretchy zone.
If he can shoot threes and
he's initiating offense from the top of the key or the wings, that
makes it really tough. Makes it really challenging.
That's tough because that back line for Illinois is really long.
Yeah. So if you can bring them away from the hoop, it gives you a lot of advantages there.
It's a nice little wrinkle. Although they look like a team that didn't play it a ton at first.
Sure, yeah.
Because you were losing wing shooters.
Which I appreciate that they kind of stuck with it.
Yeah.
Like, it's really easy when you're doing something, especially zones. For whatever reason, like, people get scored man-to-man all the time, and they're just like, oh, we're going to figure it out. You get scored in a zone like twice in a row, people are like, bail.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, and like I said, I'm not it helps if Mass scores. But when Mass is good initiating offense out front, who almost always looks better with him?
Berke does.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, that's, for me.
That's why I gave Berke the pass against Michigan for kind of struggling. Because I was like, he's a different player when Mass is out there.
Yeah.
And I still think that's true about Illinois. That clearly was like a 60% Mass. Like, that wasn't full Mass, as people like to say. Like, it just wasn't. And so
I missed that one.
But the ability for Mass to draw out, especially with a team like Illinois, where you've got that much length on the back end, to draw some of those guys out gives, like, how many times did we see somebody drive to the hoop and get swatted or get cut off and just not get a good shot up? The only guy that seemed to have a good sense on being able to use his body and get a shot up was Hoiberg.
Yeah.
Like, he did a really good job of that late. No one else the entire game, whether it's Berke, whether it's Mast, whether it's Frager, Jacobson, I think
even Pryce didn't really.
Pryce had a couple that he struggled with.
Although Jacobson will give you some, he's kind of a left wing, obviously being left.
Yeah.
His dominant hand, but he'll at least get downhill.
Yeah. I just didn't feel like anyone besides Hoiberg was comfortable getting a shot off inside of like 6 feet.
Yeah.
The entire night, which is weird because he's the smallest of the entire group, but really good using his body to create space.
He's got good change of direction.
He does. And he's very strong, so he can create that separation.
So the thing that I think is a little bit of can be why you need Boswell back. If I'm an Illinois fan, you're not very athletic in the backcourt. I don't think for explosive guards.
Okay, so if you're facing
like 4 of the top 6 teams in the country,
if you're facing Darren Peterson.
Yeah,
I mean, everybody has trouble, but
I mean, for the top 6, they're not in the top 6. I'm saying,
okay.
Whether it's UConn, Wagner's going to get you from Arizona. I mean, Duke's back; they're going to get in the paint.
Yeah,
like you need Kylan to come back, in my opinion, because Stojakovic is long, but you saw how easily Hoiberg could turn the corner on those guys.
Yeah, 100%. And there's no offense to Hoiberg there. I mean, there's much more athletic drivers in the top 5-6 teams in the country than Hoiberg.
Although he's pretty athletic.
No, Hoiberg's pretty good. I'm just there's some guys that are going to get drafted really, really highly that are going to be bigger matchup problems for Stojakovic than Hoiberg is.
I just need Nebraska to get fouled more, especially the way they did let him play.
Oh, for sure. I didn't think it was.
I know you're a big freedom of movement guy,
but I thought it was fairly even, so I didn't care that much.
Right? The checky checks. I mean,
oh yeah, I'm not a big hand check guy, but again,
I just would like, however you're calling it, call it.
Yeah, and I thought that was,
it doesn't move my needle.
Listen, if I have my druthers, I'm gonna pick the freedom of movement game. But if it's reasonably well called across the board consistently, like, I don't care that much.
Yeah.
I may not enjoy the watch as much, but it's in terms, I'm not going to get mad about it. It's just like, oh, they're letting them play today. As long as it's consistent, I don't really care. And I thought it, for the most part, was. Like, I didn't really have a problem with the officiating.
So I think the team that we're forgetting about that is, I think, pretty outstanding.
Who's that? Houston?
No.
Okay.
We never talk about them. Although they have one player that I've fallen over.
Who?
I'll give you one crack.
Okay. Oh, I thought you were going to give me a hint or something. I was just waiting.
One crack at it.
All right. We don't Iowa State.
Correct. It's a good basketball team.
It's a very good basketball team.
When they're rolling,
I mean,
they can score now.
Early in the year,
they can shut your water off.
Early in the year, I thought they might be the best team in the country.
Huh.
Like,
I don't know if I ever thought that. I probably wouldn't have been like, ooh, you dirty hooker.
I was early when people were fawning over Michigan and deservedly so. I was like, hey, Iowa State's kind of.
It's funny. After what Nebraska did to them, we all of a sudden don't think Michigan's still really good.
Michigan is one of the top 2 teams in the country.
I don't know about 2.
It's Arizona and Michigan.
I think they're one of the top 4 teams in the country.
Who are you?
I'm not gonna split hairs over that.
Who are you at?
So I think Iowa State would beat Michigan.
Okay.
So there's one.
Okay.
And Michigan would have a really
UConn in
hard
there?
time defending Duke.
Duke. Okay.
They're bigs. They want no part of Boozer.
Okay.
That pick and pop, like those guys. It's the kind of team that would give Michigan problems. Now it's a matchup thing because again, I'm not. I don't.
Yeah.
No giant chub over Duke. It's just.
I'm
looking at matchups.
So I generally try not to look at individual matchups until I know what those are going. Like until I see
if you could stomach K-State's uniforms, did you watch what they did to them?
Yeah, I did. But that was one of the most heinous uni combos I've ever seen in my life. It's not, you know what I mean? Like, if you want to go with the periwinkle, that's on you. That's fine.
Is that the correct color?
That's what I'm going to call it.
Periwinkle?
Periwinkle.
Perry.
Yeah.
As in Mason.
Yeah. Perry.
Or who's the cartoon that Caleb used to rock with?
Perry.
Who killed Perry the platypus?
That's going to be outside my wheelhouse, man.
God, he had the annoying sister with the long red hair.
We'll look up
Dr. Evil.
We'll look up Perry the platypus. See what we got here.
Another vacation.
Perry the platypus, fictional character. Good to know.
It's my own problem and my finding a good way to spend.
Also known as Agent P. What are we in?
What's the cartoon?
I'm looking. I got nothing. Phineas and Ferb.
Yes.
Right,
he was a big Phineas and Ferb.
Oh, that's a funny cartoon.
I've never.
I don't remember the characters, but
thank you, Stephen. Well, actually,
yeah, I've never seen Phineas and Ferb. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
Did you see what A-Train said?
I did not. What did he say?
Perry's Winkle is part of the color wheel of a certain color wheel.
Look, this is Periwinkle. Is that not the color of their jerseys?
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you. I just didn't know it was Periwinkle. Periwinkle.
Periwinkle.
Sarah Moylan.
I'm tired. I get tired. Periwinkle.
Yeah,
No, but to do that with the black shorts or whatever color those, like, that was tough. What are we doing, man? Just go, like, if you're gonna go Periwinkle, let's do the whole thing.
So Kel Jam asked a question. Shane bold that because I heard this a lot.
Rico, what do you mean? How do I not know Phineas and Ferb? It'd be more concerning if I did know Phineas and Ferb. I don't have kids, and
you choosing violence with Suave this morning?
None of my nieces and nephews are of an age that it would make sense that I know that show.
I'm gonna have to put my glasses on. Might be one of those mornings.
Elite cartoon. I don't watch a lot of cartoons either, Rico. Like, it's not part of my world.
Shane, I almost screenshot you my viewing options for my television.
Back in the day.
You know how they give you suggestive hints?
Yeah.
Like 6 of the first 12 are cartoons.
Back in the day.
Even now, Thundercats has now made an appearance.
See, now that's an elite cartoon.
Yeah.
I was just reading comic book number 2 the other day.
What are the odds?
Yeah, no, right?
Kel asked, why does it appear? Well, he's playing it off his fact. I'll read it how he wrote it.
Okay.
Shane, Kel Jam 101. I need you to bold it, bro. You know I can't read.
I got it.
Oh, I can do that too, can I?
Yeah, I think so.
Ravi, DB, I have a basketball question. Why do refs call more fouls in the second half than in the first? They're actively trying to make the game unwatchable? I don't know, are they? It does get bogged down.
I mean,
don't get Jay Billis started. Holy smokes, he needs a new bit.
Yeah, I think there's a couple things there. So if you're just going by the numbers, if a game is relatively close, you're going to have a bunch of fouls at the end, so like that's going to skew the count. Right? So that's a pretty simple, practical answer. I don't know that people understand sometimes refs will also make halftime adjustments.
Good point.
Like they'll go in, they'll sit, they'll be like, how do we think that went? They'll say, hey, maybe we let it get a little looser than we wanted to. Let's tighten up in the second half. Like, that's a
Tom and Jerry is elite.
So I watched that when I was a kid, so I remember Tom and Jerry.
Is you is or is you ain't my baby.
So that would be my answer is A, there's the practical part of people foul at the end to try and get back in the game, and that's going to skew the numbers. B, I do think refs make halftime adjustments, and sometimes they're like, hey, things got a little loose. We need to tighten it up. I think it's pretty simple. Now, I like stylistically, if you like watching that or not, I can't really speak to that, but I think that's typically what it happens.
All right, so.
Or maybe a coach got in their ear and they don't have time to think about it in real time, but they kind of file it away for halftime. Like, that happens a lot. Like, the number of times that a coach will grab a ref like for 30 seconds as they're walking off the floor for halftime, it's almost every game.
God, who just got the $50,000 fine? It was NBA, I think. Had to be for that kind of scratch.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I don't even remember, like, did college coaches get fined for ref stuff? You don't hear about that much.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Maybe they don't publicize them, but like it anyway. Sorry, go ahead.
I have an irrational love for him, as you know, Shane.
That's understandable.
Now this is a better question, KelJam.
What is it?
He says, follow up. When will? Oh no, there we go. When will? Stop. I appreciate you guys commenting. It just kept messing up what I was putting on the screen.
They just keep.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, another one. Follow-up question: when will men's college basketball go to quarters to make the end of games watchable?
I'm telling you, man.
That's a good question.
I've been hammering that for.
That's a good question.
It's the only
version of basketball that does not play quarters.
I know. So stupid.
That's a totally fair.
And I keep having to hear about the inventory market, the commercial breaks. Like, newsflash. Work around it.
Also, there's a version of this where you get more commercials out of quarters than you do halves.
And you won't have to go like sometimes 6 minutes with the under 16. Well, the whistle doesn't blow.
Where you go like, hey, we've got to get this TV timeout in. And then, so like the whistle doesn't blow for, let's say 6 minutes. You get to the 14.5 minute mark. Yeah. And so you didn't get your 16 timeout in.
Coaches would definitely have to change how they coach on the fly, though, because they coach in those 4-minute spurts.
Oh, 100%. You could probably divide it up into.
That would be it. So that part would be really interesting to see.
Yeah.
Them have to maneuver.
Can I say that's one of the.
And you bank on that timeout, too.
Oh, for sure. You also, like, that's you kind of ration your timeouts knowing that that's coming. Yeah. I will say that's one of the biggest things. If you see somebody. Like, every once in a while at the level of basketball I coached at, you'd see guys that came down from, like, assistants at D1s or whatever. There was one guy that I think was coached at, like, Drake back in the day. And so, like,
Back in the day?
So you had – and he was –
I told you about that art thing, right?
Yeah.
Number disconnected.
He was coaching at, like, Dakota State or something. So he'd been there for a while. But, like, they really, really struggle when you go to an – NAI game or something and you don't have TV timeouts. Like, sometimes their game management really struggles because they just don't know what to do because it's something they've been used to for so long. So, like, I do think it would be an adjustment on the fly, but if you're a good coach, you can figure it out. If you're already bad at time management, well, that's probably not going to help.
Can we do an exercise now?
I love to exercise.
All right. I'm going to start with 15 and work my way down.
Okay.
15 teams.
All right.
And 15 teams.
In men's college basketball?
Yeah.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Can Kansas win a national championship?
Unpopular, I say no.
Vanderbilt.
I'm going to say yes.
Kansas, no, but Vandy, yes.
I don't like Kansas. I'm sorry. Like, and I also like.
Hot take.
I do not believe Darren Peterson's going to play 6 games in a row because I don't think it's happened yet. So
now, if you said that,
like, that's a lot of what informs how I feel about Kansas.
Okay,
is I do not.
Can BYU win a national championship?
I am out on BYU as a national title contender.
Can Florida win a national championship?
Yes, they can.
Can Michigan State win a national championship?
No.
Can Nebraska?
Yes.
Can Houston?
Yes.
Can Purdue?
I will say yes.
Can UConn?
Yes.
Can Illinois?
Yes.
Gonzaga?
Yes.
Iowa State?
Yes.
Michigan,
Yes.
Arizona,
Yes.
Duke.
Yes.
Do you know what's funny about that?
What's that?
You're still at 12 teams that can win a national title.
They're just a little different.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you've said that for.
Yeah, I've been right at 12 pretty much all year.
Huh.
Like I've been pretty much I kicked
10, 11, 12.
I kicked BYU out. I added Vanderbilt. I think I kicked Michigan State out and I added Purdue.
Yeah.
I think those were my switches.
Which is.
I don't. You know me. I do stylistically. I do not like how Michigan State plays, and I don't think they're.
Well, that was my lock Friday.
I don't.
During our Warhorse bet on it.
Yep. You got.
Who would I lock up?
Michigan, baby.
Lock it up. That was. Now Michigan tried to make it interesting, but
even they couldn't.
It's just a bad. Like I said,
Michigan State cannot score
for how Michigan State runs their offense. That's a
They can't score.
Michigan
enough.
will beat them. They could play 10 times. Michigan will win all 10 unless they fall asleep.
Michigan State cannot score enough. They are so. Here's. We're not going to have enough time to get into this before Sam, but Michigan State would be the biggest outlier offensively in terms of KenPom metrics to win a national title ever. The next closest one is 2014 UConn.
So Channel 3, Sean, you know what it is? And this is probably what you're saying. I'm just going to be specific. He said Purdue is a yes. No way. Their shooting is too inconsistent. Here's the thing. I'm going to add to that because I don't necessarily disagree. I'm going to say this. If Lawyer figures out how to shoot again, they'll be just fine. I don't know what he's on, but it's not good his last 10, 12 games.
Yeah, it's been rough.
And they need him to shoot the basket.
They absolutely do.
You know, because you're going to get buckets from TKR.
You're going to get buckets from Smith.
And Smith is going to do his thing.
Yeah.
So
you do need, you need him because he kind of changes.
I agree, Carol. 6 games in a row would be very difficult. But you also have to.
For who? Purdue?
He said for a lot of the teams.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's why there's so many of them for me because there's a lot of teams I was like, can definitely make a Final Four. I don't feel great about 6, but if there's so many that I don't feel great about 6 about, then the matchups can't be that bad when you get that late in the tournament, just logically. So that increases the number of teams that go win a national championship.
Can I ask you about a couple of tweener teams that I have my eye on?
Okay, yeah.
That I just kind of been watching.
Yeah.
Louisville.
I'm more no. I haven't watched.
I'm more no.
A ton of Louisville, but I would lean no.
Okay. They're the same team that Creighton annihilated. That is very 3-point reliant, and when they're not making threes, it's ugly.
Pretty ugly.
You know that was a year ago. Ready?
Yep.
Shocker that I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
Alabama.
No.
Tricky one here because I don't know how much you've watched them.
Okay.
Virginia.
I've watched some.
They're pretty interesting.
What's the question about them specifically? Like Final Four? What's the context for?
Is that an Elite 8 run kind of? You get to the Elite 8, you can win it.
I don't know that I think that's true.
Really? Anything? I mean,
I'll give you I'll give you Final Four. Anybody that gets to the Final Four can win it.
We've seen teams just go on heat like.
But here's the other thing. So
that's an interesting take.
And I do want to get to this at some point because I think this is important in the conversation of whether Nebraska can win a national title or not. There is a clear trend and line of demarcation of what a team has to have in terms of NBA talent to win a national title.
So
there is a line in
the. Was that our text message conversation?
There is a line in the sand, and it is very clear. So I would almost – because there's – you get your George Mason and your Butlers and your VCUs and your occasional randos in the Final Four. Mm-hmm. You really don't get randos winning national titles.
Tim Rando?
Brando.
Oh.
Like Marlon.
I want to know.
Big Omaha guy.
I wonder if Mac was just like, hey, I have some ties and pocket squares for you guys.
Oh.
They look nice.
They did look nice. And they haven't worn those in 5 years.
Although
they did look
Donnie Marshall was giving me AKA vibes, which is a female sorority, but with the pink and green.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, like you would know the AKAs.
I don't. I'm not a big Greek life guy. More Latin myself.
And it's not you guys.
His name was Maximus Decimus Meridius.
It's a black sorority.
What do you mean, you guys? Speaking of which,
men.
Happy Black History Month, DB. I have a gift I'm going to bring you tomorrow.
You're a day late. What?
No, it's not day late. It's the first time we've seen each other.
I talk to you every day.
Yeah, that's true. It's the first time we've seen each other. I've got a gift for you tomorrow.
Guess what I did yesterday to celebrate?
What's that? I don't know. I'm not going to answer. What did you do?
I cooked outside.
That's good. Lots of people cook outside. That's not a black thing.
It's very simple though. Just burgers.
My answer was food related, but we'll leave it at that. After Sam, though, I do want to get into
if you brought me a fryer.
No. It's not food.
Spare ribs.
The gift is not.
It would be on and popping.
The gift is not food related. Okay. My snarky comment about what you did yesterday would have been food related.
Oh, I get all the snark confused.
Yeah. Well, no, gifts aren't snarky.
Okay.
It's a very nice gift.
Yeah. Just trying to get rid of these bags under bags.
Well, you gotta sleep every once in a while. Every now and then.
Man.
Whew. But no, after Sam, I do want to get into like
did we just blow through that first hour?
Yeah, that's kind of what we do these days.
Wow, that was like 56 minutes of sports.
There's a lot of hoops talk. I'll say 50. We goofed around a little at the front end, but it was pretty sports heavy. It was very sportsy first hour for us.
I'm still.
My mom probably turned it off. She's like, "You guys talking sports? I'm out."
Still 12 teams though.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty wide open field this year. I really do, and I think that's why some of the teams changed for me a little bit. Like, there's probably 15 that like I'm not gonna fight you over.
Steve, you wasn't really sure what was going on in that first hour. Oh man.
Yeah.
No, I know, LC. I know. They need that lawyer. And coincidentally, look how Purdue played.
Yeah, much better.
I love the ice. You're not even usually an isolated stat, LC.
No, he likes the big broad. Like,
yeah.
Did
so
you know Nebraska
why did he give
has
me
it
the
lost
5-point brush when it was me?
KLJ.
I usually rock with this dude. Come on, LC.
We'll talk to Sam McKEWON coming up next from the Omaha World Herald at Hurrdat Sports Live.
You know, I thought their length in the paint bothered us. It took away some of our cutting. That I thought early we curled, we got in there, we made some plays, we sprayed it out, and had some really good looks. Obviously, we got into a really good rhythm late in the half, and second half, we couldn't get those same looks. And I thought we had some good looks early, but and listen, that team's playing as well as any in the country right now. That's 11 in a row, I think, for them. Give Illinois credit. They're playing really good basketball right now. To me, the game came down to our inability to finish off possessions, and they were really controlling tempo. The play of the game is when Ivicic hit the ball out. It was the volleyball spike out to Davis, hit the three. I think we cut it to 1 at that point, and then they get it to 4. We miss a 3, and then Merkovich gets a 2 that forced into the timeout. And then I thought they controlled tempo pretty much the rest of the way. And again, a lot of that was offensive rebounds, having to defend an extra 15 seconds after they got it. And then, listen, Wagler's playing as a first-team All-American right now. They're just getting the ball in his hands and letting him go to work and ISO, and they've got shooting all around him. So, I don't think it had anything to do with our effort. I thought our guys played hard. I thought we did a really good job on the glass in the first half, but I just didn't quite see that same fire, passion going after the ball that we had in the first.
Well, I mean, we were plus 13 on the glass. I thought we really offensive rebounded it. We took care of the ball. We had, I think we had like 5 early turnovers and 3 the rest of the game. We were sharp with execution. We did a good job in transition offensively to get some more opportunities. Like if you if you play high level, you play elite level offense, you shoot 54% from the field, make 16 threes, you're plus 13 on the glass, and you hold a really good offensive team, like a really good offensive team, to 40% from the field at home, and the 3-point line defense we played. I mean, that's bulletproof basketball. Like when the 23 and 24 teams, we played elite offense, we played elite defense, and we rebounded the ball dominantly. So there were a lot of games like this with those teams, and that's why I'm not comparing this team to those teams. I mean, we got a long way to go before we're championship caliber.
Yeah, she's coming along nicely, and I'll tell you what, she works and works and works. In fact, a lot of times, because she's our only PO. All of our other pitchers hit. And so, there's times she's over doing sprints on her own, or she's doing mirror work, or she's just doing something that you have to actually pull her back because, I think she felt like she was so far behind that she thought, I've got to do more, but she's really got to pace herself. But I think that she's gained a lot of confidence, and she's comfortable on the mound again. So it's really nice to have her back in our arsenal. I feel good about our pitching staff. I feel like we've got a lot of pieces.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
31-25. 3 and change left first half. Hoiberg brings it into play. Flips to BK. Gives it back to Hoiberg. Faces up against Davis. Looks for cutters. Coming to it, Sandfort. Got a look. 3-ball. Got it! You can't give him that kind of room. Sandfort, a trio.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by NextGen Male Medical. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill, reminding you next week, just 10 days from now, actually 9 days because I'm good at math, Glow Big Red begins at noon, February 11th, and concludes at noon on February 12th. Go to glowbigred.unl.edu to make your gifts, and it's your way to support your favorite parts of the university, whether it's scholarships, colleges and departments, Greek life, Husker athletics, whatever it is on campus, you can direct your gift directly to that so it goes to the place that you care about the most. And for every $75 gift during the Glow Big Red event, you will receive a Husker canvas tote bag, just like the ones DB and I showed you yesterday. That
smells like burlap.
Smells like canvas. I don't know why you get cut up on the burlap.
The brown.
It's a different thing. It's really more of a tan.
Yes, Sam's here.
Make sure you
Say it, Shane. Right in the middle of it.
Oh, I thought you were going to ask me. Did I jump the gun there?
Hey, do you want to get to Gary Jama now?
Go to glowbigred.unl.edu if you would like to support the university. How long did you think I was going to talk about Glow Big Red, Shane? You think it was a real danger we weren't going to get to say him in a timely fashion?
Yeah. Plus, we got to keep him short this week. We got like 40 minutes left.
It's Sam McKEWON from the Omaha World Herald joining us now. Sam, how are we doing this morning?
I'm great, guys. How are you?
Good, good. Green eggs and ham. How's the weather in the Cap City? Is it as nice as it is here?
It's gorgeous. It's great. Yeah. It's cold, but it's sunny. It'll be a great day. Anything over about 10, I can handle and I like. So
isn't it amazing how was it Saturday? It was like 24 degrees and people were like, "Oh my God, this feels great."
Yeah, it was pretty great. It was pretty rough, I think, Saturday morning, but it was pretty great all weekend.
Shorts at the grocery store.
I stopped wearing a coat on Saturday. I was like, man, I'm good with a hoodie.
Yeah, that's Nebraska anymore. So now we're gonna get 50s this week. My goodness, I might go to the course. Swing the sticks.
Sweet swinging.
So I don't think so. But.
How soft would the ground be?
Soft.
Like, do they want those kind of? Because you could kind of mess the course, can't you?
Not trying to get those divots.
Well, you can go to Topgolf. Yeah. So there's a certain temperature threshold where going to Topgolf is not that much fun. But you can always go there, and you never know. There might be a course or two open. I'm not actually that much of a. I don't usually want to do that in the 40s and the 50s, but I miss golf, and so just getting out there and swinging it a little bit, and seeing the ball take a trajectory, that'd be kind of nice. And golf season's only month away. Getting early March, you get one of those 65-degree days, and there you go.
Don't ask Justin Rose. It started for him this past week.
It did. Yeah, he's really playing well. There's really not much left for him to do in his career except add one more major, and that would be the Masters. So he will be a co-favorite this year with the annual favorite, which is Scottie Scheffler. But it won't surprise me if Justin Rose wins it. You don't want to peak too early. Like in the golf world, he's peaking pretty early. So now you don't want
to. He's got to hold off till April, right?
Correct. I can't remember. I think it's going to be April for the Masters this year. He'll be a co-favorite. I don't think Rory will. I think Rory will go there and just sort of play and be good, but not win it. It'll be Scheffler and Rose. I'll probably be in the last group on Sunday in the back nine. So it's gonna be a really good season. You got Koepka back in the PGA Tour, that's good, and you got some young players. You got Spieth is finally healthy. For people who love Jordan Spieth, I don't love him, but I do like when he's good because the game is better when he's good, and I think he's gonna be back. So that's it's gonna be a good season of golf. It's gonna be more competitive than it was at times last year when Scheffler just mowed over everybody.
Sam, is there any part of you that wishes golf had like an earlier, whether it's a major or not, like an earlier big time? Like tennis gets 3 weeks into the season, they play the Australian Open. Like they're just like, hey, we're doing this right away. Like, is there any part of you that's like, hey, it'd be kind of nice if there was like a big golf event before April?
It'd have to be down in, where the Australian Open is. So they would have to establish something in the Southern Hemisphere that was weather allowable. And I'll be honest with you, Australia has never really been a major golf destination. I'm not exactly sure why. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say you'd have
too many poisonous animals.
Have people getting killed on the golf course by bird-sized spiders.
Right. I don't think you could do it in Hawaii. I think the infrastructure out there is such that you can't get a major crowd. You maybe be able to do it in Australia, but then you'd be competing with the Australian Open, which is sort of their signature event. And so I don't know. Like that's a good question. I don't think you can go much. You can't go really into March unless you're willing to play in Florida. And for people that have followed this a long, long time, well, they used to have the Players' Championship in March, and they moved it. So they moved it because they didn't feel like it was getting enough whatever. So now that tournament's been moved back, and so the Masters starts it, and then I feel like it's the Players' Championship, then the PGA, then the U.S. Open, then the British Open, and it's all sort of contained within that tight period. I actually And I don't think any golfers miss it, but I miss the, as they used to call it, glory's last chance or whatever, with the PGA being in like late July, early August. But I think the weather is so brutal wherever they would have those that I think they just decided that having the PGA in May is preferable to where it was. But I used to like the PGA being in August, right when you went back to school. That'd be like you watched the PGA Championship and then you went back to school, whether it was high school or college, and that's gone now.
I want to start a little off the beaten path, but go to Nebraska women's basketball. Secrets of about Potts coming back. Nebraska their way along. Grinder of a couple of really play this Michigan and Michigan State. I'm not even gonna say stealing. What is Coach Williams doing these next 3 for you the tournament discussion?
Well, you were cutting out a little bit, but I think I know what you're asking, which is, how are they going to go through this really hard stretch and, play well, but also, get in the NCAA tournament and kind of punch that ticket all the way. Okay, so, I think they kind of knew that Potts wasn't coming back. They probably knew that for a while. She'll be back next year, and so the chemistry is good in the program. Jessica Petrie being out didn't help them because she can help with a lot of different things. But what I'll say is that I think I'll atomize it a little bit here. What you hope is that you can go to Michigan on Wednesday and you can catch them tired and distracted because they beat Michigan State on Sunday in a huge, very long game. Nebraska does not match up well with Michigan. And so if you were going to ask me before the season, what's the hardest matchup on Nebraska's schedule, I would have told you UCLA and then Michigan. And so I don't anticipate them winning on Wednesday. But maybe you catch Michigan in a moment and you get up early and you're able to kind of hold that lead. But otherwise, Michigan's a pretty darn good basketball team and a team that I fully expect to be, in the Final Four discussion. And that may be in the Final Four, but right there. After that, I actually think Nebraska can win some games, but they got to go win them. They got to beat Maryland. Maryland's not very good. And by that, I mean they're going to the NCAA tournament, but Nebraska's not intimidated by Maryland and has beaten Maryland several times in the last several years. So they're not intimidated by Maryland. Then you got to beat Iowa. Iowa's not a top 10 team. They're ranked in the top 10, but they're not a top 10 team. They've done a nice job of playing, and I'm not trying to rip Iowa. I have a lot of respect for Jan Jensen and what they've gotten done there. Obviously, the injury will not help them to Taylor McCabe. I mean, she was a huge part of their team. So that really up, though. It hurts. It hurts her. It hurts them. So there's wins on the schedule. They just got to go win them, and they got to hit shots, and they got to compete. Ohio State has one great player. And they got a couple great players, but that player went off last night. Nebraska was not able to slow her down.
3 was she? That little mini solo run she went on in the fourth was still.
It was, and historically, when teams clear Nebraska out and they just let a point guard, Michigan State used to do this for years. It's hard for Nebraska to match up, and it is what it is. I think this is a pretty good team that if they can get in the NCAA tournament, they might surprise a few people because they've got some depth. But it's a really, really good and a really hard league, and I think Amy's finally recruiting at the level that you've got to be sort of a consistent Sweet 16 team. And you're going to see the team get better and better and better. It's just too bad Potts got hurt. Like, Potts was a big part of that, and she got hurt. So now she'll be back next year. But the roster is there. I think they're recruiting better, and they've got all the pieces. Got to hit shots. Got to make plays. I don't know. I know I'm just kind of giving cliches, but the reality is they're just maybe a slight cut below about 7 teams in the league, and those are some of the teams they got to beat here in the next 3 weeks, and actually think they will beat 1 or 2 of them. They probably got to beat 2 to make the NCAA tournament. They got to get to 19 wins. That's what I guess.
Damn, let's move over to the men's side of things. Obviously, takes their first 2 losses of the season since we've talked to you. With kind of the situation that was existing in, and then has your on Nebraska basketball changed at all? What do you think now that you didn't think a week ago, if anything?
Well, I think my opinion really hasn't changed on their ceiling. Their ceiling does also require the full health of everybody. So we kind of saw what Nebraska's like this week when they don't have 1 or 2 of their key pieces either available or at full strength. And that sometimes is, Rick Mass wasn't at full strength on Sunday. It wasn't, it just wasn't the usual Rick. If he was at full strength, and he might be after a week's rest, I think they probably go to overtime with Illinois. And, it's a typical Nebraska-Illinois game. But I think their ceiling is still where it is. And I appreciated Hoiberg in a subtle way standing up for his player, for his team, and talking about, how opposing defenses are holding Pryce Sandfort. So I to be clear, Keaton Walker is a great basketball player. But when you have the ball in your hands, you're going to attract more officiating attention. And so he drew some fouls, and I actually think they were fouls. I thought Nebraska was a little over aggressive at times and whatever. But Sanford's getting fouled, but it's away from the ball, and so he's just putting it out there so that maybe an official will call 1 or 2 of those. And if you call 1 or 2 of them, then they're going to give him freedom of movement. And Sanford's ability to move is crucial to Nebraska's offensive success. We talked about this last week when I talked about his off-ball movement and how it's unique and it's really challenging to slow down. The same thing holds now, that when it doesn't even mean he gets the ball. It's just what it does to opposing defense. And so long as he's able to get freedom of movement, I think Nebraska's going to be pretty darn good. And I think they'll win on Saturday when they play Rutgers, and I think they'll come back and they'll play Purdue. So long as they hit shots, they'll beat Purdue. Purdue will hit their own shots, as we all know about Purdue. They can shoot. And then you're going to be off to the races again. So I don't know if I don't think they're a number 1 seed. I watched a lot of basketball last week on purpose. Watched a lot of Arizona, a lot of Duke. I think those teams are a little better than Nebraska. And I think Illinois is pretty darn good too. And I think Houston is probably a little better than Nebraska. Not a lot of teams, but I think they're a solid 2 seed. And you know how this works. If a 2 seed gets the right draw and the 1 seed, has a bad game, and all of a sudden it's the 2 seed against the 4 seed and the Elite 8, you can go to the Final 4. So that's my take. They're a solid 2 seed. They're, in my opinion, a top 10 team, but we'll see what the rest of the season brings.
Now, let me ask you something, because I guess most good teams want their good players to play well. So we talk about Rank a ton in terms of what he needs for this team. But I just want to give you some stats in Big Ten play. Right? So against against Wisconsin, he shot 53%, 16% behind the arc. In only one of these games has he shot over 40% from 3. So Illinois shot from the field, even though he shot at 46% from Michigan State, but still only 40% from 35% from the floor against Ohio State, 42% from the floor against Indiana. Now, back-to-back 50%ers, but he played 17 and 20 minutes respectively against Oregon and Northwestern. Right, still only shot 33% from 3. Then the last 2 games, 30% and 27%. So the numbers offensively aren't gaudy efficient. So let's be more specific when you say we think Rink better. What is it if he's not going to score like we want him to in Big Ten play? Because he hasn't, and Nebraska's been able to overcome it.
There's multiple things. One, the threat of his shooting draws the defense out and allows for cutters to the lane. And that was true a couple of years ago when Casey was the guy that was cutting the lane. So, like in theory, they would slough off of Casey, but if Rink got the ball outside there, then Casey could cut to the rim and Rink could throw that pass. So it's the threat of being able to shoot and then his ability to pass. I think his on-court leadership is really important. So the things he's able to solve on the court during the game, he didn't get out on Wagler on that last one. And I think that was totally the fluke. The after effects of that, and you know which one I'm talking about in the second half. And Wagler did a really nice job of staying out there and sort of faking it. Yeah. It was a really good play by Wagler. But, they had multiple circumstances where they had gone they had gone 9 feet beyond the 3-point line to get Wagler. Anyway, he's able to solve problems on the court defensively. He's a pretty good rebounder. And, again, a couple of those shots that were inside the paint, they just didn't go in. I mean, they weren't like they were bad looks. It was his usual, fake this way, go back that way. They just didn't go in. And Illinois' defense is special. Like they have really, really good rim protectors. Illinois has a good team. It's a good team. So, I think they'll figure it out with Rink. And then he just does so many different things for them as a leader and even as a shooter, And yeah, he's not necessarily shooting it as well as he was early in the season, but I don't think that's uncommon for him. I think he kind of dropped off a little bit a couple years ago too. So
much an indictment as much as I just think, and it's not you, because I've heard this a lot. And I just think it's like, well, yeah, anytime he scores, that help Nebraska win. But that's not always who he's been. When effective,
it's not necessarily the most important
It's not the most important thing all the time when other guys play well around him. So I just was curious to get your thoughts.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think it is pretty important that Pryce Sandfort score quite a few points every game.
Right? Because he's the one that gets buckets different.
Mm-hmm. And Frager too. I mean, Frager, what a nice addition he was to have back. Like he played, he made his shots, and he's. I didn't think Illinois had a lot of juice in that first half. I thought they were kind of sluggish.
So we you know what's funny? Like, I'm kind of an Illinois honk, and I watched it, and I felt like everybody was, Illinois is really, really good. I'm like, part of that is Nebraska, but that's not even what they're capable of.
They didn't play that well.
They didn't play that well.
No, they didn't. They played pretty well for 4 or 5 minute stretch of the second half, and that sort of was the distance maker. But I think that's true. And honestly, I thought
it was the key sequence, right? It's 53-2. Sandfort gets the shot blocked. Illinois comes back down. They get the cute touch pass from Ivanisevic, and then all of a sudden it's 56-52, and you felt like that was all she wrote. Like that sequence right there for me. Because then they push it to 59-52.
Yeah, it was like maybe 4 minutes of real
And then
time.
you're like, oh my gosh, Nebraska's not getting anything easy. I don't even know if they can score enough. Like that's so that was, if that's the 4 minute stretch you're talking about, I think that's when it was.
Yeah, that's the one.
Because if Pryce makes, or if that he converts that, or he gets fouled, you kind of quell the.
At that point, you were after that stretch, you were basically.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you're basically either Jamarcus, Pryce, or probably Frager needed to get on a heater. The way, Jamarcus kind of did in the first half a little bit. Pryce had a little mini stretch. Obviously, Frager did. But you were basically counting on one of those guys to get hot from three again in order to get back in the game because nothing was happening inside.
Yeah, and I think those are helpful. It's helpful to watch these games in the context of what Nebraska will eventually get starting in the second round of the NCAA tournament. Probably in the first round, it won't be a team that's quite like that, but everybody that's a 7 seed and above in the NCAA tournament is pretty dang good. I mean, they're not perfect, but they're pretty dang good. And that's what you start to see right in the second round. So Nebraska's going to have,
for all intents and purposes, it's like 8,
right? Right. And so it's a challenge. These are the games that Nebraska's going to have to play, and they're going to have to figure it out. And they had, I do think they're going to win their first NCAA tournament game and then How do you prepare for the long stretch? And I don't know if I've talked on this show about this, but, Fred Hoiberg knows what it's like to get to the second weekend. But I'm sure there's a part of him, that he's not necessarily going to acknowledge too much because they're in the process of the season of like, this could be a team that can go even a little bit further. And how do I prepare this team and like keep this message in the back of their head or in the back of my head that when I need to pull it out on a Thursday night in the Sweet 16, I can do it. And those will be things that I'm sure he's keeping notes on, because I think it's one thing to play really well in the regular season, and it's another to do that in the NCAA tournament. I think Greg McDermott has figured out, for example, I know they're probably not going to the NCAA tournament this year, but he's kind of figured out how to do that, to get past the first weekend now. And he kind of understands the process there. And I think that's a leap. And I'll be curious if Nebraska can take that leap in one March, or if it's going to take multiple Marches to learn how to go from game 1 to game 4, and how you sort of make the jump. I'll be curious to see if Hoiberg is able to get this team to do all those things right off the bat. Sometimes it works like that, and sometimes it doesn't.
Sam, as you kind of process through the last couple games for Nebraska, and obviously they've got a little bit of time off here before they play Rutgers on Saturday and then get into that game with Purdue you were talking about. Like, is there anything you can see against Rutgers that will, I don't even know if you need to feel better about what's happened the last couple of games, but that will kind of make you feel like Nebraska's back on track after taking their first couple losses of the season?
I mean, Rink getting all the way back and feeling healthy and being able to score early and then, do what he usually does, I think is important. And, Rutgers is still a tough team, and they're gonna present a challenge. So you got to go out and handle the road trip and the road atmosphere. And Nebraska's done a really good job of that all season. So I don't think they took like a big hit or anything. I think this is kind of wasn't all that surprising to me that they lost. Well, it wasn't surprising at all that they lost at Michigan. I mean, Michigan's pretty good. That was going to be the hardest game on the schedule. Go ahead.
Michigan and Illinois at the top, because I think now you kind of like Illinois, right?
Illinois would be my number one. Yeah.
Michigan State. They hammered for 38 minutes or 36 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Michigan State to me is a clear 4. And honestly, I think Michigan State and Purdue are 4 or 5. I don't know that Michigan State's better than Purdue. I don't know that.
That's fair. Because Purdue needs Lawyer to play like he did yesterday to make them look different, or this week as a team, I think. Because sometimes their shooting is so erratic.
Yeah, it's a question of whether they make shots, and everybody who watches a lot of Purdue, and I know some people who do know that Lawyer's got to hit corner threes, and they have a good system. They have a really good system, and they're a really good program, and that to me will be an important game for Nebraska, because anytime you play Purdue, you're going to get high level of skill, high level of offense, good post presence. They bring a pretty consistent effort every week. So, like, to me, Purdue is a litmus test for how far Nebraska's come. I think they'll beat Rutgers, and then they're going to come back on a short week, and they have to play Purdue. And if they come out and they win that game by 10 or 12 points, again, I'd be like, hey, this is a number 2 seed. Probably not number 1, but probably a number 2, maybe a number 1 if they won out. If they come out and they lose by 10 to Purdue, I'm maybe it's a 3 or 4. Maybe it's a 3 or 4 seed. They're still probably going to win 25, 26 regular season games, but you can see some losses in there. And this is just me talking. I'm baking in a loss when they go to LA. That's why I've said that many times. They play USC and UCLA. I anticipate one of those games being a loss.
Are you in love with Cronin? I don't know if you're a press conference guy, but Mick Cronin has been on a heater with these last. I wonder what angry UCLA bunch Nebraska's going to get. I don't really believe UCLA, but Woods is going to be a handful for anybody. I just don't know if that dribble. I don't know if that offense is the type of offense that'll give USC's offense is the type of offense that would give Nebraska fits because they do so much of it off the bounce.
Yeah, and Musselman's, I thought he came in and did a hell of a coaching job last year when I don't think USC had a great team. And they came in, and I just watching that game from like the second level of PBA, I was like, man, Eric Musselman coached pretty darn good tonight. And I thought he'll get it done on the coaching front, and Nebraska's got it. Again, I just bake in a loss out there. I don't know which one it'll be. I think it's a hard road trip, right? Because it's like a 5-day road trip, and that's hard. So I bake in a loss out there, and then I don't know. I'm saying 27-4 in the regular season at this point. That's my call.
All right, let me ask you this, Sam. I want to get to football here for a sec.
Okay.
A couple of weeks ago, you said Coach Nebraska's most important hire, and I think we were like, "Whoa, hot take or true?" But it was just first one to say it out loud, right? And this was Beckler and the special. Zip doubled down last week, and he said it might be the most important hire of Coach Rhule's tenure. Do you feel that?
Well, I mean, I think the reason
obviously didn't feel like you were going out on a limb when you said it, right?
No.
Some big ones. There's some big hires.
I thought Sip meant he thought it was the most important hire of any of that's how I
like any of the stops.
Yeah, like of his entire coaching career.
That's certainly Nebraska.
That's how I took how he meant. Like
I was like, okay.
Yeah, I won't speak to his whole career. I will say that I think Orich is, and the reason I think this is because Rhule wants to have a program that is built on a culture and an identity and a DNA of defense. And so he needs to have a person who's able to translate that. And in Tony White, he had it. Like, that guy was able to get Nebraska to play at a certain level of toughness that everybody could see and appreciate. They got to get back to that. And I think Orich is the guy that he selected because, I don't think Rob Orich is necessarily going to be leaving. And I think Tony White was going to be here a couple of years, and that was going to be it. But Orich is somebody who can stick around. And B, Orich brought his whole staff. So, it's an important hire, not just because of Orich, but because you gave him, honestly, the power that you didn't give Tony White. Like, Tony White didn't have the power to pick all his staff, and Orich did. Like, he really did, outside of Addison Williams. But
although I do know that D-line position, man, I think was kind of pretty hotly contested.
Sure, I get that. I get that. But he's going with Corey Brown on the defensive line, and he's going with Roy Manning at the edges. He's got Miles Taylor back in the safety, working with the safeties, and so Orich has the ability to kind of really shape this defense in the way he wants it. So I think it's a really important hire. Obviously, Dana Holgerson's very, very important. He's important, and he is the last remaining celebrity coach on the staff, so to speak. And he doesn't act like a celebrity, which I appreciate about Holgerson. He's down to earth.
It's a big year for him because his numbers are trending in the wrong direction career-wise too. That's a big year.
It is for sure. I appreciate that he was willing to kind of take on the task of building an offense around a quarterback that he didn't pick. I think he'll feel more comfortable with the guy that they're going to put out there now. And so he's important, though. He's an important hire.
He's
super important. Again, I totally appreciate the work that Mike Eckler did. And he did a good job. What I'll say is, again, special teams is important, but Eckler himself did not want to remain the special teams coordinator at Nebraska if he couldn't sufficiently meddle in Rob Orich's defense. So he didn't even want to stay here.
That dirty secret,
He didn't even want to stay here. Like, he wanted to have a defensive position coaching job. They tried to pay him and give him a contract extension to be the special teams coordinator. Like, what else could they do? Well, they had to give him a position coaching job. Well, but what would then just make him the defensive coordinator? Like, I feel like we've kind of gone around this block several times, and it feels like the reason we're doing it is because once upon a time, Mike Eckler coached here many years ago. Like, it's not his fault. It's not, anyway, he wanted to have input on the defense, and Matt Rhule chose a defensive coordinator who made his own choices. And there you go. Like, that's just, and so that choice is way more important. And I think now we're going to see, because Matt Rhule's on the hook. He chose Orich. And on top of that, he's the one that I think is gonna staff the special teams job in-house instead of going out and hiring another special teams coordinator. Which, that's on him too. So he will it's his staff, and he'll figure it out. We'll see what happens. I think it's gonna be fine, but maybe I'm wrong.
Sam, I know you said you got to go. Do you have time for one more, or do you need to run?
One more, yeah.
So, Sam, let me ask, I'll get you out on this. Better for you that Nebraska's starting more football stuff early has been a bit of a talking season?
Yeah, I want to give you like some sort of firm answer. Like, I think it's okay. I think Rhule is doing this for a reason, and I think he wants to get them going, and he wants to get, maybe, like he said, if somebody gets banged up in spring camp, they might have a little bit more time to recover. Maybe this gives them a chance to get away from things a little bit. Okay, so spring ends on March 28th. Maybe you got a little bit of time away from it before you come back for summer workouts. I don't have a strong opinion about this. I think it's possible that they're doing the right thing. I think it's possible that they could have kept doing it the way they were doing it and it'd be okay. I think the only opinion I have is I think it's good that the spring game is back. That would be the thing that I would say. I thought last year's event, while cheeky and fun, wasn't exactly like Rhule. It just didn't feel like him. It felt like something they were remember, because they're like, we're not going to do much. Now we're going to do something. Now we're going to let these guys scrimmage. I think it's in his,
a lot of late opinions.
Yeah, I think it's in his DNA to just play 2 hours of football and let guys kind of bang around and whatever. And so I'm glad the spring.
He's overtaking opinions. I think we're going to get back to who he and what he wants to be, and that's
so. So do you feel like he maybe was trying to please too many different groups of people at times last year?
I get the whole, like, I mean, you want to be recruiting. You always be recruiting. You want it to be entertaining. I don't think he loved his depth last year.
Okay,
he had to, but he still wanted it to be some football. But I think you ask him 99% of the time, the more it looks like football, the better. And I think he's not going to be like, well, damn, the health stuff. But I mean, some of staying healthy is going through rigor. So I think he's telling us that he's going to lay it on the line. And if they have to get some guys back from a recovery standpoint, then they'll roll those dice.
Yeah,
I like it, to be honest, because you have so many guys in the building now. Like,
right.
You've got a lot of your guys that are on campus. Like, let's roll.
For sure. You guys used to just kind of do it in March and April, right? Yeah.
I mean, we were done by and remember, we went 20 days. So we were done by the middle of April. I mean, Easter, we were done chilling. And we didn't take a break either. So I kind of like the whole, beat yourself up, get ready later on. And that's not just a tough guy thing. I just think if you want to be physical, you have to be willing to sacrifice guys getting hurt.
Yeah, and then you guys always had that, the NFL people would come in, and remember they'd kind of do the workouts of the seniors, but then you guys would kind of all go through it too.
Yep.
And that almost felt like a whole different couple of days of working out and physical. Like it, I'm trying to remember it well, but like I remember that the guy
he would do that. He would use it to time up before the major scrimmages. He used it as like it wasn't a rest day, but I mean, because we were doing football specific drills,
right?
But you knew that Saturday was gonna be a price to pay for running around in the Olympics on a day and a half.
That's right. Yeah, and they're like 30 NFL scouts, 4 or 5 head coaches. That was good stuff. I remember Dave Wanstead. I'm like, this is when I got to college, I was like, my goodness, this is. I knew the program was good, but then you kind of get there and you're kind of like, this is a big deal.
He was treating Thursday like a sprint walkthrough.
Right.
He got done with what we were doing. It's like, hey, if you guys want to hop in the drills and get a taste, but just know it's coming, which is fine.
Yeah.
Spring sucked, and that's my story.
All right, buddy. Stan, we appreciate the time.
Take care, guys.
Minutes. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks. Yeah, spring was miserable.
That is Sam McKEWON from the World Herald.
So the tougher it is, the more I gravitate towards it because I actually think that works.
Yeah.
You have to lay the foundation.
If you're not used to going through difficult things before you get to the difficult things,
and you're young in some spots, like you need the physical rigor.
Yeah,
you need it, and I think they're gonna lay it on the line.
Let it all hang out.
Yeah,
I mean you got to at this point, right?
Yeah. X said something to me during our interviews. We had him on Husker Sports Nightly, and at the bowl trip. And I asked him about alluding to the physicality on special teams and doing things full speed.
Mm-hmm.
And he was really like he kind of cut me off. Like no. Like the key thing is we're going to practice tempo, but we want our guys to have their legs. And I thought that was a little bit of a deviation from all the live work that I saw him get during the season, but I also knew that they had smaller numbers too.
Sure.
So I was trying to weigh the give and take in my head.
Kind of try preserve the roster versus
yeah.
That's hard,
right? So I mean,
because that's something you guys never really had to deal with, right? In terms of numbers, like you could go as hard as you wanted because you knew, hey, there's a guy right behind him. It's fine.
He was. They were truly like let the paramedics sort him out.
Yeah, which is I'm sure makes you feel some kind of way, but it's also allows you to practice in a certain way.
And the temperament was, I don't know if we knew any better.
Sure. I mean, if that's all you know.
Now, if you drop that in, maybe we're different. Revisionist history is easy. We were the biggest, fastest, toughest. That wasn't always like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was.
You became the biggest, fastest, toughest.
Yeah.
But you start somewhere else.
Yeah. And ask
nobody starts there.
There are times like, look, man, I don't feel good. Like, why are we out here?
Yeah. He's like, I don't care if you feel good. Your backup can play too.
Yeah.
Basically, right? I mean, that's the difference.
It's about what it was.
So
I'm a big fan of the physicality.
Yeah.
In spring.
Yeah.
Like lay it on the line.
I'm glad the spring game's back. I agree with Sam there. Like I love the spring game. I know some people aren't huge fans. I love it. I'm a big fan of the spring game. It's another data point. Give me more data points.
Yeah. Again, man, like the roster is put together in such a way where you need to figure out some things. Like if you get, Dawson, some of these guys will be back healthy.
Yeah.
And I think you need to know.
And you brought in a decent amount of new guys that you expect a chunk of those to play. Like you need to figure some things out.
Bro, you only have 18 seniors.
Like
let your nuts hang.
Yeah, even for guys that aren't transfers in new. I mean, you've got guys that will be in new positions that are kind of aging into finally their roles. Like you got to figure some things out. You need to play real football this spring.
Yeah, I am.
I'm glad they're going.
I'm all in, and you've got 40. You got 44 sophomores. Play.
Yeah.
Like let it rip.
Let's go. Just take a quick break here, and then I want to get into. We were talking about national champions in college basketball, what that takes. Sam brought it up a little bit. I have a little deep dive here that I want to get into so we can see where Nebraska fits in what it historically takes to be a national champion. Because I think that will inform what we think the ceiling of this team is.
And you said yes pretty quick when I asked you if they could win a national title.
I believe they can. and we'll see. I'll give you a little.
Yeah.
I'll give you a little context why, but.
Well, when you broached it this weekend, I was like, "Ooh, the case for," or this be like the book, the carpet, like the case against Christ.
I think I can make a case for, but that's why I want to have a discussion about it.
Well, let's let it roll.
That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. It's Hurrdat Sports Live.
This was the. Cancer's impacts everybody. We all know someone that's gone on that journey. Some have beat it. Some have lost the battle. Some are going through it right now. We started the Pink Out 21 years ago, I think, when Teresa was diagnosed, when we were at UNI, and then carried it to Iowa State, and then it took a life of its own here because the community, there was a group of people that formed a committee that made this, the gold standard of this type of event in the country. But this was the first time we're at a couple guys in the locker room that have been impacted to the level that they have. Blake had a really difficult time before the game because you have to attack it head on. The last thing you would want to do is not talk about Blake's mom or not talk about Josh's mom. So I made the decision that we were going to talk about it and, talk about how proud they are. Blake's mom, how proud she would be, and Josh's mom, how proud she is of what they're doing that someone their age shouldn't have to deal with.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by NextGen Male Medical. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. So, DB, we've been talking about Nebraska, their ceiling, what the NCAA tournament looks like for them, and a lot of people have been asking, hey, can they win a national championship? Can they make a Final Four? So I did this deep dive of what the profile talent-wise of a national championship team looks like. And there is a clear distinction between teams that make Final Fours and teams that win national titles. Almost anybody can make a Final Four in terms of and I'm talking about NBA talent, to be clear.
Okay.
Like, I say almost anybody in the sense of you get the right matchup, you get a little hot. You do have to be a certain level of good, but there was no clear pattern between number of NBA players and teams that made Final Fours. There was no clear line of demarcation. There was, however, a very clear line of demarcation for teams that won national championships. And that line was, since 1985, since the tournament expanded, every team that has won a national championship, except 7, so 33 out of the 40 basically, has had at least 3 NBA players drafted in the top 2 rounds, because there used to be more. So I limited it to top 2 because that's what we have currently. The top 2 rounds of the NBA draft. All 7 of the outliers still had 2. So the question is, if you're going to win a national championship, I'm basically telling you, you have to have 2 guys that will get drafted in the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament.
All right. So hang on.
Yep.
I don't know if this is important, but I'm curious. But I don't want to.
You want to know what the 7 are?
Yeah.
I have them all right here.
Okay, because I was going to guess.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No.
Since 85?
Since 85. If you have some guesses, let me know.
So Milt Wagner, Purvis Ellison, Scooter McRae, pros. So it's not Louisville, right?
It is not Louisville.
I'm going with Villanova.
In 85?
Yeah.
That is not correct. They had 3. It was...
So if it's Danny and the Miracles, then Kansas has got to be 1.
Kansas is 1. But they still had 2. They had a guy get drafted in the second round.
That's fine.
But yes, they are one of the outliers. So 85 had Pickney, McLean, and Presley all got drafted.
Okay, so...
Danny and the Miracles is the first team since the expansion, 1988.
McNamara, Hakeem Warwick. Can I go Syracuse?
03 Syracuse.
Thank you.
The only two were Hakeem Warwick and Carmelo Anthony.
Okay.
There are two between Kansas and Syracuse. Just so you know, if you're looking for time-wise. And then there's 3 after Syracuse.
All right. So Edney drafted. Ed O'Bannon drafted. What's the light skin do with the box cut? I'm a hold on them. 94 Arkansas had Mayberry, Day, Oliver Miller. Is it the year after they won it or anybody off that team?
Anybody off that team. So if you were a freshman but didn't get drafted till you were a junior, that still counts.
So you had Day and Scotty Thurman. Never mind. No, Arkansas is one of them.
Arkansas is one of them.
Thank you, Deep. Man, you got to give your boy some love.
I mean, you're doing Day wasn't on the 94
Yeah.
team.
I mean,
Corliss Williamson
Yep.
was your first rounder. And then they only had they had 3 guys play, but one of them did not get drafted. He was an undrafted free agent.
So Michigan State, 2000.
Not correct.
So you had Muddy Cleaves and Mo Pete.
And Jason Richardson was on that team as a freshman.
Oh, Dirty J. Rich.
Yep.
Well, you're testing my Rolodex here.
There's one you won. There's actually 2 you should 1,000% know.
So I'm looking at the 93 team had Rodel. Those guys weren't getting drafted. They were 93 Carolina has to be one of them.
93 Carolina is one of them.
Yeah, they were.
Your only 2 guys, Montross and Lynch.
Yeah.
Were 2 first rounders, but then they had some free agent guys.
I mean, we're winning titles with Henrik Rodel.
Yep. So
dude had umlauts in his name.
So you have 3 left.
I know.
I'll give you a hint here.
Okay.
They are all in the 2010s or later.
Okay. Well, you got to go Ollie's year, Kimball Walker.
100%, 2014. Or that's not that's
not Kimball Walker. That's
Napier.
Yeah.
The other.
Yeah. Shabazz.
Yeah, Shabazz.
Shaboy. Shabazz, receding hairline, Napier.
Yep.
That dude had a head like mine.
2 left. One of them you definitely should know. One of them is a little surprising, I thought.
The 33-7 Carolina team? That was 2017.
2017, North Carolina is on the list.
Boy, I ain't no joke.
They had 2.
Thank you, DB.
They had 2 first rounders, but no one else.
All right, so I have 1 left.
1 team left. I found this team a little surprising. And it is after 2017.
Oh, shoot. Because you know who I was going to go with?
Who?
Louisville. But that's fine. Oh, drafted. 2 rounds?
Top 2 rounds.
Virginia.
Nope. You had Hunter.
And Guy?
Guy and Ty Jerome got drafted as well. Jerome was a first rounder.
Ty. Never mind.
Were you about to go, Ty Jerome?
Sorry.
They
AJ.
had 3. Yeah. Kyle Guy was the second rounder. Jerome and DeAndre Hunter were first rounders.
The only one that makes sense then is 22 Kansas.
You danced right around it.
Wait. So. Oh, Baylor?
21 Baylor. I told you it was surprising.
Wait a minute. They had the bucket getter.
So here are the guys.
Sochan was on that team.
Sochan was not on that team.
Was he 2022?
Sochan was after.
Okay.
You had Jared Butler.
That's the bucket getter.
And Davian Mitchell got drafted. Flagler played but did not get drafted. LJ Cryer played but did not get drafted. Those are your 7 ever. So
that's amazing.
You did unbelievable, by the way. Like, that was really, really impressive. So this is the question that begs. If Nebraska can win a national title, who are the at least 2 guys from this team?
Pryce Sandfort.
That's 100% one of them. And you need at least 1 more guy that can get drafted in the first 2 rounds. I have a name that I think is absolutely in that conversation.
I'm going to go. I'm going to go. Fudge. I'm going Frager and Sandfort.
Those are my 2. which is why I said yes quickly, because I 100% think both of those guys can get drafted in the in the NBA draft.
Frager would be incredible in a workout.
Yes, that's part of it. Is athletically he will fit. Like, he's got good positional size, he's got good positional athleticism,
and he's gonna
and he can shoot it,
and he's gonna measure well too. His arms are incredible.
So he's a guy that you'll look at and be like, yeah, we'll figure it out with Frager, especially if he continues to produce at this level.
Yeah.
Right? Which he's a redshirt freshman. There's no reason to believe he won't continue to produce at this level. And then Pryce Sandfort, they're going to look at that guy who is 6'7" and shoots the lights out of the ball, and they'll be like, yeah, we'll take a second-round flyer on that guy. Worst case scenario. They just will. And so that's why I said yes quickly. Because
I don't even know if I would try to talk you off of that.
I look at it and I go, there are two guys that I believe.
Where's Nebraska right now on offensive and defensive efficiency with Kenneth Pomeroy?
They are.
I worry about their offensive efficiency. Defensive efficiency, not so much.
They're at 25, which is
that's the cusp. That's the cutoff.
It's actually 40. It's 25 for defense.
Okay.
So, but I will say there's like two outliers that are above 25. It's 14 UConn and then somebody else.
Yeah.
That are like in the low 30 or high 30s. Otherwise, it's about 25, 28. So they, for most national champions, they are right on the cusp offensively. They are well within defensively.
Interesting.
So
I wondered why you were so emphatic.
Yeah, I think
I should have known with the way that you were talking this weekend.
Yeah, I think it's important to look at because there is a deadline. If you don't have two draftable guys in the NBA, you're not winning a national title. Like, that's 40 years of data. It's just not happening.
Yeah. That's impressive.
So I feel pretty good about that.
That is impressive.
I couldn't believe you got all 7. That's pretty good. And you only missed it.
You helped me with the Baylor.
A little. Well, yeah, but
I did go right to it though.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I was surprised because I think of that Baylor team as more talented than that. Like, in my head, I remember them as being like kind of freaky.
And I drew the blank on Sochan.
Yeah, Sochan was just right after that. So that hurt you there.
And I still can't stand him.
You and me both.
It's fine.
That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We've got EAMONN Brennan coming up next. He's formerly of ESPN, formerly of The Athletic. Now he's at EAMONNBrennan.com. Yeah. We're going to talk some more college hoops with our guy. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. It's Hurrdat Sports Live.
I thought their length in the paint bothered us. It took away some of our cutting. That that early we curled, we got in there, we made some plays, we sprayed it out, and had some really good looks. Obviously, we got into a really good rhythm late in the half, and second half, we couldn't get those same looks. And I thought we had some good looks early, but and listen, that team's playing as well as any in the country right now. That's 11 in a row, I think, for them. Give Illinois credit. They're playing really good basketball right now. To me, the game came down to our inability to finish off possessions, and they were really controlling tempo. The play of the game is when Ivicic hit the ball out. It was the volleyball spike out to Davis, hit the 3. I think we cut it to 1 at that point, and then they get it to 4. We miss a 3, and then Merkovich gets a 2 that forced into the timeout. And then I thought they controlled tempo pretty much the rest of the way. And again, a lot of that was offensive rebounds, having to defend an extra 15 seconds after they got it. And then, listen, Wagler's playing as a first-team All-American right now. They're just getting the ball in his hands and letting him go to work and ISO, and they've got shooting all around him. So, I don't think it had anything to do with our effort. I thought our guys played hard. I thought we did a really good job on the glass in the first half, but I just didn't quite see that same fire, passion going after the ball that we had in the first.
Well, we were plus 13 on the glass. I thought we really offensive rebounded it. We took care of the ball. We had, I think we had like 5 early turnovers and 3 the rest of the game. We were sharp with execution. We did a good job in transition offensively to get some more opportunities. Like if you play high level, you play elite level offense. You shoot 54% from the field, make 16 threes. You're plus 13 on the glass, and you hold a really good offensive team, like a really good offensive team, to 40% from the field at home, and the 3-point line defense we played. I mean, that's bulletproof basketball. Like when the 23 and 24 teams, we played elite offense, we played elite defense, and we rebounded the ball dominantly. So there were a lot of games like this with those teams, and that's why I'm not comparing this team to those teams. I mean, we got a long way to go before we're championship caliber.
Yeah, she's coming along nicely, and I'll tell you what, she works and works and works. In fact, a lot of times, because she's our only PO. All of our other pitchers hit. And so, there's times she's over doing sprints on her own, or she's doing mirror work, or she's just doing something that you have to actually pull her back because, I think she felt like she was so far behind that she thought, I've got to do more, but she's really got to pace herself. But I think that she's gained a lot of confidence, and she's comfortable on the mound again. So it's really nice to have her back in our arsenal. I feel good about our pitching staff. I feel like we've got a lot of pieces.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Perry gets free for the three, and he ties it. My goodness. 1 second left in regulation. Tied at 76. And we are headed to overtime here at Pauley. Gives Indiana the lead.
Wow, out of Indiana, an Indiana kid, a Hoosier at heart, to come in and do this.
It doesn't count, it won't go, and Hoosier hysteria survives here in Westwood.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by NextGen Male Medical. That's DB. I'm Ravi, Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Grilly Grill.
Got to remind you, make sure you get over to nextgenmmc.com. You can get your appointment scheduled. You can see what products and services they have to offer. I was out there. I was pretty excited. I played a lot of tennis this weekend.
I was there Friday.
I think over Friday and Saturday, I played about 5 hours of tennis combined. Mm-hmm. I'm going to tell you, like 3 months ago, I'd probably still be in bed. Feeling great. No problems whatsoever. It's that Sermorelin I like so much.
It might be. That's supposed to really help me sleep. So I'm on it.
Yeah.
Right? That's the one that I take the 5 days a week, the self-injectable.
Yep.
But you know what's interesting?
What's that?
Is I think I have to recalibrate with the vitamins and my shots where I have to let it settle.
Yeah.
Because the beautiful thing about the Sermorelin is when I sleep, Like I sleep, like I've had like 3 dreams.
So you're like actually getting that REM deep sleep.
I've had 3. This is dead dog serious.
Yeah.
One was super ridiculous. Coach Rhule wanted me to come back and play a game, but he paid me in meal tickets, and they look like stamps. I was like, you couldn't even like cut these with scissors. They were like meal stamps, but anyway, it's really dumb.
That's wild.
Yeah, he gave me an envelope with my name on. I thought it was gonna be money. I was like, oh fudge. Oh man, it was meal tickets.
Like the old SEC days, you get the money in a McDonald's bag.
Yeah. So I'm definitely getting to rim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I feel that's good because you don't sleep well.
No, but it's good.
No, it's quality.
So you know the cool thing.
Yeah.
So this is serious, guys. This is a real life testimony. So I talk about some of the things that aren't as smooth, right? So it's like, hey, try some of this fiber, right? Or let's get you to X amount of water, which is why I rock with the next.
I say rocking the mug.
And the what am I on now? The L-glutamine.
Oh, yeah.
Which is kind of the equivalent for like maybe like milk thistle.
Sure.
But better.
Yeah.
For the liver and kidneys. So I like the fact that you get like real life analysis and you get your blood work done every 3 months. So you kind of know where you're at.
Well, they keep good track of you. It's just an overall health thing, which I like about them. It's not just, hey, let's go get you some testosterone. Although if you need that, they got you too. So make sure you go check them out. NextGenMMC.com. They will get you taken care of. Great crew over there. We love talking to them. We love hanging out with them.
Shane? Do we have Mr. Brennan?
Not yet. Still
right,
waiting.
Cool. I want to ask you something.
Yeah.
On the heels of what UConn did, shooting 51% from 3.
Sure.
Do you consider Cyrus Demry Jr. a good 3-point shooter?
I think the numbers would say so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think he shoots on the season?
39.
Let me ask another one. If I was going to become sometimes you get a body of work and that's kind of who you are. You know the percentage points that Demry Jr. has increased from last year to this year shooting the 3? What would be a great improvement?
I think anything over like 5% is a very good improvement.
He's at 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, he shot 37% from 3 last year. He's shooting 45.7 from 3.
That's crazy.
We have our guest here, by the way.
He shot 45.7 from 3.
Dang.
And it was in any extra skip pass that UConn made was for an open 3.
Just always there.
I mean, between Mullins and you even need Caravan.
Let's go to EAMONN Brennan. He is college basketball writer, coverer, expert, however you want to call it. You can find him at eamonbrennan.com. How are we doing this morning, sir?
Good. How are you guys?
Are you pumped kind of doing your own thing? Like I've talked to you forever in my former life, man. It's pretty cool. How exciting has it been?
Yeah, it's been great. It's a couple of years now and going strong. Lots of people, signed up, subscribed, supported me when I kind of struck out on my own. So it's been really rewarding and validating. And yeah, now we're some of those off-season summer months when the portal quiets down a little bit, you can be kind of grinding it out, but people stick with it. And now we get to the fun part here in February and March. So really looking forward to it.
Cool. I always like talking because you do a good job of providing a balance of numbers and data like analytics versus watching a lot of basketball. I was just lamenting with Ravi about, UConn just hammered Creighton, and we were talking about, is their physicality good enough to win a national title and all these things for the last month and a half for UConn. So I'm going to start there, and I was using Demry as an example who's elevated his three-point percentage. He's 8% better than he was a year ago. When you look at what makes this team complete, can you have the conversation without needing to be solo ball dependent, or is he in addition to what you think they're capable of?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, look, like he's a huge factor in what they do, but I think UConn's best teams and what they lacked a little bit last year, in part because of injury and in part just because of the roster build and the sort of the lack of stars in the backcourt, I think, to some extent last season. You look back at their 2 national title teams and they were incredibly balanced. They had really good guard play, but they were tough and deep up front. And I think this UConn team has that. I think Braylon Mullins is kind of the perfect example. He's just coming back from injury now. That kid, we talk a lot about the freshman class this year, and it's easy for some of these guys to get lost in the fray. When you've got a guy like at Illinois and Keaton Wagler, who wasn't even on anybody's radar, and he's one of the best freshmen in the country, and there's like 8, 10, 12 guys who you can all kind of imagine being a really good pro in a few years. Mullins has been very quietly like one of my favorite guys to watch all season. I think he's super talented, and I think we're getting into the part of the year where you look at sort of UConn's fundamentals, their underlying baseline of experienced guys, really solid stuff in the front court. Caravan is sort of the glue guy who does all the perimeter or outside in stuff really well. And you throw Mullins back into the mix here as just sort of a wild card guy who could go get you 20, 25 on any given night. I think UConn's ceiling is higher than they've shown. I think we saw that against Creighton. There's a lot of chatter that I sort of picked up on in the UConn fan base of like, we're not beating teams as much as our best teams used to. We're just kind of scraping by. What is the problem? And they come out and respond with just a total beatdown at Creighton the other night. I think it was a sign of things to come potentially for UConn here.
We'll get to some other teams, but I want to stay with UConn just for a second with projecting long-term matchups. And obviously, Reed Jr. is a little bit is just how they want to play with some of these skilled guys and other teams and matchups. Do you like UConn's front court versatility to handle the Michigans, the Illinois, the Arizonas, those diversified front courts?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough. I think, the thing with like a Michigan, having watched them a lot this year, is they present a lot of problems for opposing teams because of their size and because they can throw what feels like, 3, 4, 5 bigs at you. It's a little bit like Florida last season, or even this season, especially because of the way Florida's roster is balanced. There has been a bit of a trend in college basketball in the last couple of years of coaches figuring out how to keep 2 centers on the floor or 2 guys who kind of play like centers. I think Florida's been at the forefront of it, but we've seen it a little bit with Michigan this year, in part because Lindeberg kind of looks like a center a lot of times.
Even Wolf last year initiating off.
For sure.
Playing with another big.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely more of that in college basketball. I think it's partly, and this is a little bit off the beaten path of UConn, but I think it's partly an interesting thing to watch because coaches are kind of, the really smart coaches, I think, still can't do everything perfectly in the portal that they want to do. And you do get to a point sometimes where I think like Dusty May this year, you get Lindeberg, you get Mara, you kind of you're like, all right, I got to figure out a way to get all these guys on the court together. Right. Like we're just going to lean into it. Mm-hmm. So I think there's some, some trickier matchups out there, but I think one of the things with a team like Michigan or a team like Florida, if you're talking about matchups with UConn and facing multiple bigs, Caravan presents those problems in the opposite direction too, because he pulls you out away from the center of the floor. So I think there's enough in UConn's toolbox there where, and because of the stuff they run on the offensive end and because it's so fluid and they move the ball so well, that you kind of expect them to be able to do that against really top teams. And I think we've generally seen that with them. And like I said, I kind of think there's a little bit more ceiling for them to explore here as we get into the stretch.
Huh. All right, last one for UConn. This because we're going to get to all the top teams here. So I appreciate the UConn talk, even though I'm not a UConn fan. But they're fascinating because of those being measured against their own benchmarks from 23 and 24, and some of that's on Hurley because he brings it up. But I want to land with where I started with solo ball. Is the last 3 weeks solo ball part of the ceiling that you think UConn still has room to grow in?
Yeah, for sure. I think for him the big thing is kind of what I benchmark with him is perimeter shooting, because he takes a lot of shots and he's not always the most efficient guy from out there. And I do wonder if sometimes those shots can be a little bit more evenly dispersed across the rest of the backcourt. But yeah, I mean, this is the kind of guy, and I think Demery is kind of like this too. If you have a picture in your mind's eye of what a national title level UConn backcourt looks like, it kind of looks like these guys, right? Maybe not quite as efficient as your Hawkinses and some of the best players they've had in the last 5 years, but big, physical, strong, good with the ball, get into the middle of the lane, put opposing guards in bad positions. And it's really the kind of thing they didn't have last year when Diarra was really their only guard and they missed in the portal with Aiden Mahaney. They were just deficient in that area last year. And so a lot of it had to come down to McNeely. So I think, this UConn hitting its ceiling is, to me, kind of I don't think they're as good as they were 3 years ago or 2 years ago, right? Like those teams were incredible. But I do think you can see the outline of that kind of deep NCAA tournament, maybe national title, certainly Final Four level contender in there based on the blueprint that they've had in recent seasons. Like, this stuff makes visual sense to me when I watch them play.
We're talking about some of the best freshmen in the country, and you brought up Wagler a few minutes ago. I wanted to ask about a guy, and tell me if I'm right, wrong, or indifferent here. I really struggle just with how little Darren Peterson has played for Kansas this year. How big of a deal is that to you in your mind, and how much does that affect, A, how you feel about him in terms of when you're talking about the other freshmen, and B, when you're talking about Kansas in terms of what they can do in March?
Yeah, it's a really weird one to get your arms around, right? Like, anybody else, every time I watch Darren Peterson play basketball, and this goes back to, talking to people who covered Kansas or who went to Kansas practices in the summer, or anybody around Lawrence, watching him play in the summer being like, wow, yeah, this guy is ridiculous. Like, he's way better than anybody thought, and everybody thought he was going to be really good. He's totally lived up to that every time he's been on the floor. But it is super odd, and it may just be the injury thing. Even there's all this stuff swirling online about, is he load managing? Is he sitting himself out because he's worried about, even if you just take it at face value and he has this persistent cramping issue, that's almost worse if you're drafting someone number 1 overall, like a guy who physically has like a minutes restriction essentially at age 18, 19, whatever. That doesn't explain the situation in a way that would satisfy me if I was a GM drafting number 1 overall, especially in a year where if you miss on the number 1 overall prospect, you could still get a future All-Star at number 2. You know what I mean? Like, if you took someone else instead of him. So it's a super weird one, and it's a bummer as a college basketball fan because, whatever, I have no doubt Peterson will go on and probably be, maybe I have a little doubt, but mostly I think he'll go on and become a great pro. But I want to watch him play college basketball. Like Cooper Flagg last year. I really, really, really enjoyed watching that dude play a full 100% head-on season of college basketball, and not getting the chance to do that with Peterson is disappointing and a little frustrating just from a college basketball perspective. And I think it, with him on the floor, based on what they did without him early in the year and kind of how the rest of the team has developed, particularly Melvin Council, who's a player who drove me nuts at the beginning of the year, I think has really, really rounded out into a really nice complementary player.
He is a streaky son of a gun, though.
He is. If I was a Kansas fan, he'd drive me nuts. Like, just as a neutral sitting there watching, me like, this guy can beat anyone down the floor, but once he does, you don't know where the ball is going to end up. But they've rounded into a really nicely balanced team with a roster that coming into the year, I think everyone said, well, Peterson's going to have to do a lot for these guys because they're not that, Badunga's awesome now. They have a lot of pieces and a lot of good stuff they can do. It just, if you're, picking a team to win the title or looking at a bracket when it comes out on Selection Sunday and thinking about Kansas, it's like, am I going to get 35 minutes of Darren Peterson? Am I going to get 18 minutes? Am I going to get no minutes? It's just a weird wild card to throw into sort of their season perspectives.
My kiddo was playing on the shoe circuit the last 3 years before he went to go play football, and we saw Badunga in person 2 years ago. They ended up losing by my kiddos team ended up losing by like 30 here, right down the road. And I think, I'm not kidding you, EB, I think Badunga had 16 blocks. And this team, my kiddos team, they finished 40-4. Like, they were legit. And whenever he gets ready, he is a menace.
Yep. Yeah, it sounds somewhat similar to my high school basketball team from Iowa playing Josh Smith and Dwight Howard's AAU team from Atlanta. And everybody just being like, yeah, these guys are aliens. Like, we're not playing the same game as them, so we got beat by like 50. It sounds similar.
Okay, so I don't want to harp on the Darren Peterson thing forever, but
yes, he does, because I've been hammering him for 3 months.
So I have to ask, like, is there any part of you that is, when he does play, I get that I get the scoring profile, I get the athleticism, I get the whole thing. Is there any part of you that, with a guy that does have the ball in his hands a decent amount, is concerned about the lack of playmaking for others with averaging less than 2 assists a game if you are taking that guy number 1 overall?
I guess so, a little bit, but I think he shows enough flashes of it. Like, he had one play, everyone is focused on the dunk as the highlight from the BYU game, but he had the cross court corner pass to a wide open baseline 3 that, like, a few guys in college basketball can make with that level of, and like the guy he threw to, maybe it was White. I'm not sure who the actual shooter was off the top of my head, but he was actually in the wrong spot, and Peterson threw it to the right spot and got him like another foot over into the corner, which was an even more open look. Like, he's got some stuff playmaking wise that I think maybe he just doesn't need to do, because he gets to the basket against anybody he's facing pretty much whenever he wants to. It's kind of remarkable. I know Jay Billis was talking about it during the broadcast on Saturday, pardon me, of just like the ease with which he gets to whatever spot he wants to. Doesn't usually need to make those passes. I think he has it in his locker to be able to do that. But, I think like poking holes in his game on the floor is probably not going to be the focus of the discussion. There will be, there's stuff people can find in any of these guys' games that they'll need to improve as pros. That's every draft pick ever, including Cooper Flagg. But, the concerns with him, I think, will all come off the floor and just like what the situation is here, because it's either he's sort of weirdly load managing his way through a college basketball season while advertising his talent, which we don't have any real proof of, or he just has, like, again, at face value, a weird issue where he can't, not cramp if he plays more than 15 or 20 minutes at a basketball game. So it's just a little odd.
You did a blind resume deal on College Game Day Saturday, and I was trying to stomach my breakfast while it's a blind slot, so I don't have to agree or disagree. But if I assume that it's Wilson, Boozer, Flemings, DeBansa, and Peterson, the Hoops podcast heads that I listen to are making the case, and you brought him up, that Flagg would not be in the top 5 of this year's draft. You're watching him in the pros, and kids getting a little bit of a heat for playing him at the point guard spot, and they're struggling. But is that how loaded this freshman class is, or do you not agree?
No, I don't agree with that. I think that's silly, honestly. I mean, we have evidence of Cooper Flagg already being a very good NBA player. Like, yes, it's his rookie year. Yes, he's playing in a weird position and taking some lumps, but he just had 49 points the other night. Like, he's a good pro and will be a really good pro. I don't think
the
anybody
record
in the
books
NBA
too for the youngest of 2 40-point games this early into his rookie career too. So don't count that.
You got to remember, he's also 19. Like, he's a lot of these guys' ages. So he's not like a 22-year-old rookie who played a couple years in college and is like breaking out or whatever. It's Cooper Flagg, man. He's been the number 1 pick since he was like 13. He's an awesome pro. I think, look, if you're a GM and you see Peterson play and you are just like, we're going to get this guy to the league, we're going to handle whatever health or whatever whatever issue he's having at Kansas, we'll deal with all that. Watch this guy play. He's unbelievable. We have to take him number 1. Fine. But I don't think you're taking any of the other guys in this class, for as good as they are, over Flagg based off of last year, let alone what we've seen him do like against NBA players already this year. You know, it's a bit of a stretch to me. I think it's kind of like people getting a bit over their skis doing hot takes or whatever. I think it's like kind of crazy. I just think Flag is that good.
I'm gonna get to Nebraska here in a second. That's the easy one. I want to go to the ACC here just for a second, because clearly Duke is the best team in the country right now. They'd be on the one line. The conference profile needs a little help. There's Virginia, there's Carolina, there's Louisville. If you're going to take an off-the-radar team whose metrics are starting to line up, do you like Virginia or Carolina to be kind of a, keep an eye on these guys?
Yeah, I would probably take Virginia. I mean, Carolina maybe has the higher ceiling on the offensive end just with Wilson and like how good he is already and some of the extra stuff he can get to just even in the next month. But I think Carolina's defense has been troubling for a while now. I think they've turned it around a little bit, but you know, they have, I can't remember the exact stat I talked about on my podcast a week ago or 2 weeks ago, where basically every leading scorer up to, I want to say like January 15th, every opposing team's leading scorer had their highest points output of the season playing against North Carolina.
I watched Okoro get the easiest 30 in America for a guy that averaged 23 going into that one. So he's in that stat when they got bounced by Stanford.
Yeah, and I mean, look, like Carolina fans will tell you that they're pulling their hair out at some of the defensive ideas and rotations and switches that Hubert Davis has sort of insisted on for most of this year, and the lack of adjustments therein. So I think I'm still not all the way there with Carolina yet. Virginia is better both ways, I think, and a little bit older. It's an all brand new team, so they don't, it's not like, oh yeah, these guys have been continuously playing together for the last 3 or 4 years. They still have some of that.
Carolina won there.
Say again?
Carolina won there.
It's true, they did, but I'm just like, the total package with Virginia would be more interesting to me than Carolina, even if I think there's a higher ceiling.
I like Virginia too.
All right, so we've been going through this exercise probably for the last month and a half. How many teams do you think can win the national title in the first week of February?
How many teams do I think can win the national title? That's a great question. Definitely
I give you
3.
a rundown if you want to do yes, no's.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a clear cutoff with the top 3 of Michigan, Arizona, and Duke in whichever order you'd like to put them. Those are your 3. I think, I could get there on Iowa State as well, just because they've sustained what they've been doing as they've gotten into conference play. And last year they had a bit of a second half collapse. A lot of that had to do with injury. I'm kind of curious to see where they go under TJ in this second half, but so far so good. And then I would put Houston in that group as well, because I think, look, they haven't been as good as they were last season. Their record is just about as good. And I think they're a really interesting case because this is the first time we've really seen Kelvin Sampson lean into super elite talented freshmen. He's had a couple here and there, but by and large, they've been old.
And they finally score.
Yes, that's what I mean, is like their offense is usually statistically really good because even if they miss, like last year, they were a great shooting team and they grabbed a ton of offensive rebounds. So they churned up numbers on the offensive end efficiency-wise really, really well. But they did have those possessions. You saw it against Florida in the title game, and you can see it this year too, where like it's just like, okay, nothing is getting downhill, and now Uzan is going to stand at the top of the key and dribble the air out of the ball for 5 seconds and take a bad shot. And they do that too much. But when Kingston Flemings has the ball, and that's what the possession turns into, you're like, okay, this guy's going to go get a bucket. So it's just a little bit of a different feel, and I think that's huge come tournament time. Like they have all that veterancy and all the old experienced guys who've done the Kelvin Sampson stuff forever, and then you sprinkle Flemings and Sinak over the top of it. I think that's a really interesting combination that might be the next sort of step for them to get over the hump, where they've gone every single step in the tournament program building wise. They were a bucket away last year. Maybe adding a little bit of that lottery pick stardust is what you need.
Interesting. A couple of teams that both Ken Pom and Net Rankings like similarly statistically. One is really, really close to home because they're at home. I present the case of Gonzaga and Nebraska. If you had to pick today, who's on the 2 line, if either?
I would still have Nebraska on the 2 line. I mean, they've lost 2 games. I think Gonzaga's resume is not quite as strong. We'll see how it plays out. But right now, based on, if we were seeding the bracket today, I'd have Nebraska on the 2 line and probably Gonzaga on the 3.
Is Gonzaga your first 3?
Close. I'd have to look at it honestly, but yeah, I mean they'd be close. Maybe Michigan State. I would probably put Gonzaga above Vanderbilt right now, but again, yeah, it's all pretty tight. And Vanderbilt may have, because of their schedule in the SEC, will probably have a few more wins than Gonzaga down the stretch here, and then you're probably doing the classic thing with Gonzaga where they have a really gaudy record and great numbers, and everyone knows they're good. But if you're the committee, are you going to give Vanderbilt credit for like a road win at Florida or Alabama or whatever ends up happening down the stretch?
Gonzaga can actually defend this year. Hey, what about Florida?
Florida is one of the most fascinating teams of the season to me because they are, like we talked about earlier, tripling down on big guys because of the way their roster construction played out this season. Moving Hauk to the 3, where he was mostly a stretch 4 last year, taking a guard out of the mix because he's really not a guard. He gives you some shooting and he can get downhill and stretch the floor a bit, but it does get a little cramped spacing wise on the offensive end. The flip side of that is that they absolutely hammer people on the boards on both ends of the floor and get a lot of easy 2s and protect the rim really well. I mean, their ceiling is going to be whatever Boogie Flan and Xavier Lee can make it. I'm particularly more inclined to think Flan will get there. I think we've seen more flashes. Lee just has struggled most of the season and put a couple decent games together, but rarely has he looked like he felt comfortable. So I'm kind of we're still waiting for that. We've sort of snuck up on the point of the season now where you're like, dude, it's already February. Like we've been saying, oh, November, December, like Xavier Lee's just got to figure it out and let's see what happens with Florida. Maybe it will, but I'm still a little skeptical. I think they're just a notch below where it's clearly a notch below where they were last year because they just don't have not only Walter Clayton, but Elijah Martin and the rest of those guys in the backcourt were we talked a lot about their bigs last year, but Walter Clayton was the best player in the country for the last 2 months of the season. That's why they won a national title.
What do you do with St. John's and the Big East? Obviously, we talked about UConn, and they're clearly in a class by themselves in the conference this year. But a down conference, St. John's kind of starting to figure things out, winning 7 in a row. But how much credit do you actually give that when none of us really like the rest of the conference outside of UConn?
Yeah, I mean, I think this was kind of predictable with St. John's. They would, because of the league and where it is this season, they would have a run of games where they looked like they'd figured some stuff out. I think you kind of got to get into a bit of the nitty gritty with some of their performances. Like they were really good at Villanova, I thought, but just okay against Seton Hall and just okay against Xavier the other night. I guess that was last weekend at Xavier. Now that's a big game with all the emotions and the Patino Bowl stuff or whatever, but they, good win, but that Xavier team is not great. So yeah, I mean, I think St. John's is kind of where they appeared to be at the beginning of the season, which is, the roster construction is a little confusing, and I think has kind of played out. Like once you don't have a point guard or acknowledge that you don't have a point guard, or your one point guard that you actually do have on the roster, and Darling, kind of you wanted him to come off the bench and just kind of be a support guy. Like they haven't equaled out their, Patino has not magically solved the flaws in the roster that they put together in the offseason. But they're big, they're long, they defend, they get up the floor quickly, they score, easy buckets, edge of four is good. Like they have potential, but I think the fundamental flaw in the lack of playmaking on the ball is probably going to continue to hold them back even as they stack up wins in a bad East.
EB, I know you got to get out of here, and I started out this whole morning show at 7 by saying the best team in the country no one talks about is Iowa State, and I went 28 minutes talking to you and didn't talk about Iowa State. So those guys appear to be flying under everybody's radar for as good as I think they are.
Yeah, it's true. And yeah, they're, again, only 2 losses. We're now into February. They have not had the kind of late season slide that they did last year that I think put people off the scent coming into this year. I think a couple people wrote about this in the offseason in the summer, and I kind of jumped on the bandwagon a little bit. Like, they were kind of banged up down the stretch last year. Lipsy was kind of off and on injured. And
that backcourt was in shambles.
Yeah, they weren't the same team that they were early in the year. And I think that put people off the scent coming into this season of like, oh, yeah, these guys are back. And obviously Jefferson has made like a massive, ridiculous, like this guy's a pro type of leap. Momcilovic, not far off that. And so they are as well run. It's been really fun to watch this evolution of this sort of group of players and this style under TJ, where they were all defense, all turnovers, couldn't get a bucket down the other end, but just guarded you like crazy, to now being able to do a bit of everything on both ends of the floor, led by a guy like Jefferson, who's, one of the 5 or 10 best players in the country.
All right. Where can people find your work?
Yeah, my website's EAMONNBRENNAN.com. It's called Buzzer. It's a newsletter. Really appreciate anybody stopping by, signing up, supporting, or just popping over and saying hello.
Absolutely.
Brilliant as always. Thanks, EB.
All right. Take care, guys.
That is EAMONN Brennan. Go find him at EAMONNBRENNAN.com to get more stuff like we just heard.
How we go without talking about Iowa State?
Well, I think it's a microcosm of their entire season. People just kind of forget about them.
I know people, they heard Jamal Mashburn say that. He wasn't the only pro that said that about Cooper Flagg.
Yeah, I don't agree.
Well, you can't really, can you?
No, I mean,
you know what makes it hard?
Well, we know what it looks like in the pros already.
Yeah.
So even if I'm trying to, I am trying to just think of Cooper Flagg, the prospect.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's really hard to remove what we already know, but I'm trying to think of just Cooper Flagg, the prospect. And like, I can't get past I certainly can't get past 3. Even if
if you went Peterson and DeBansa?
I am not a Peterson guy. Like, I cannot.
You're gonna double down on that, huh?
I've been doing the playmaking concerns me.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I'm not. You don't have to belabor it, because I think, people are going to jump on you for.
No, they're going to kill me for it, and I understand there's a good chance I'm wrong, and that's fine. But the playmaking concerns me, and the not playing concerns me. Like, I don't know what it is. Is it actually cramps? Is it a weird load management thing? Does he just not like playing basketball that much? Like, I don't know what it is.
Because then you see him in the first half, and he clearly enjoyed taking that game over.
Yeah, and then he looked 100% healthy. He plays 3 minutes in the second half, and he's gone for the rest of the game. I don't know what to do with that. Like, I have that game to me is the weirdest version of Darren Peterson that we've seen all year. He didn't appear to tweak anything. Maybe he was cramping. I don't know. Usually when people are cramping that badly that they can't play the rest of the game, it's pretty obvious. We've seen people cramp. Like, we see what it looks like when people cramp up. It usually looks pretty obvious when it's happening.
Are they faking like LaFraud and you get carried off the court years ago?
Or whatever. I mean, like, I don't.
Hey, guys, the South Beach heat is really killing me. Carry me off.
Or like, San Antonio turns the AC off in the finals game, and that's cool. Make him heat,
I'd like for you to read that headline. Right? We have somebody that's on the same page as me.
No, they're asking a question. They're not saying the answer is yes.
What's the question?
The question is, are there teams that should want to trade for Kyler Murray?
You asked me the same question last year.
You're assuming because they're asking the question that the answer should be yes.
I'm not the only one.
Don't matter to me.
You might be the only one answering yes. That's my point.
It's fine. I mean, the 5-year 230 is not appealing, but they're going to be on the hook for. Arizona's going to be on the hook for.
Yeah, they're going to have to eat some of that at
26 mil.
Yeah.
If it's 5 days past May. So, I mean, it's a tricky contract. 105 of that 230 was guaranteed.
Guaranteed?
Guaranteed.
How much is it paid out already of the guarantee? Do we know?
I don't know. He did it in 22.
A lot of that's going to be the signing bonus up front, so it's probably half.
Yeah.
So there might not be that much guaranteed money left on it. I don't know. I haven't looked at it.
Do you have any faith in LaFleur?
I don't know what to do there. I mean, I have a really hard time, and this, I mean, it worked out for some people, but I have a really hard time when it's clear that the head coach is the one making the decisions on that side of the ball and then hiring their coordinator on that side of the ball.
I don't know. It doesn't always work out. Have you not seen Quessy getting ran out of Minnesota? I mean, do you believe the fact that their head coach didn't want the quarterback? Sometimes that happens.
No, but I get that. But I'm just like, okay, if Sean McVay is,
did you read the Kellen Mond thing? Maybe it's a Minnesota thing.
Might just be a Minnesota
where they take quarterbacks they don't want.
Might just be a Minnesota thing.
That wasn't funny though.
But
I felt bad for Kellen Mond.
I sit here and I go, okay, you know, you've got your OC for the Rams, and I sit here and I go, that's a Sean McVay thing. How much credit do I have to give the OC?
Is it?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean,
but I feel the same way about McDaniel and Shanahan. It's like clearly McDaniel has at least some idea what he's doing offensively, but like that's mostly a Shanahan thing. I don't know if I'm going to jump on hiring that guy when it's pretty clear. Like Kubiak, on the other hand, Kubiak's very interesting to me. That sounds like a pretty good hire for the Raiders. Like if that ends up working out, like I'm more interested in that than I am LaFleur when it feels like Sean McVay's making all those decisions.
Did Mike McDonald get all the credit for being the Ravens defensive coordinator for 1 year?
Apparently.
But he's a good coach.
He's a good coach.
It's weird.
I struggle with it. But I also understand that a lot of times these OCs that are super geniuses or whatever calling plays don't end up being good head coaches because they don't have the right skill set for it.
Do you know how old McDonald is? I said old McDonald.
No, I don't.
He's 38 years old.
I was going to say, he can't be much more than 40. He's a youngin'.
That guy was in Ann Arbor once, too.
I think everybody was in Ann Arbor once, apparently.
Dude, I think, remember John sent Jim his guy? He was in Michigan in 21.
Yeah, he's trying to help him out.
He's like, here's my guy.
It kind of seemed like he did him a favor.
Man.
That's what it seemed like.
Jim is like, I had that guy on my staff.
You don't need him. It's fine. Do you see you see one of my favorite guys retiring? It just came down when we were in the show, so I don't know if you've seen it yet. Not NFL, but football.
Oh, throwing me.
Yeah.
But no.
It is an OC, though. That's why it kind of got my brain. Gus Malzahn's retiring.
Oh, why do you honk for that?
I love
guy.
Gus Malzahn.
What's that?
I think Nick Marshall was a long time ago.
That's fine. I just like the way it looks. Like the way his play design is, all the eye candy, all the misdirection.
He always seems so irritable.
Oh no, he's a huge D-bag. Like
well, I didn't.
He comes off as a huge D-bag.
I just said irritable.
Yes, indeed.
You know, a lot of people have said he's pretty hard to work with, but
are you surprised that
they said that about Dana though too, and Dana seems nice.
That folks are coming to the defense and piling on with Sweeney not letting this tampering thing go? That could set huge precedent.
Yeah,
amongst the coach, because if the coaches would do the right thing, this wouldn't be a goddamn problem.
Yeah, you know what? I wanted to ask Eamon because this is sort of a different thing, but I think it's in the right neighborhood of like coaches doing the right thing. Is he was on a podcast last week, I believe.
Brennan?
Yeah, Eamon was, and he was talking about this whole Nate Oates situation, and I forget the quote that he had. Oh, yeah, his quote that he had on it was the disease of, well, after all, why shouldn't I?
Yeah.
And that to me is like,
yeah.
And I wish I would have gotten to it with him because
I'm like the person that says because I can.
Yeah, like just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Doesn't make it a good idea.
Yeah, and like just because it's not illegal doesn't mean it's not immoral or unethical or good for the greater good, right? Like just because
You're dang right.
What up, Nebraska?
Just because you can get away with it doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. And it's not like Nate Oates has had a hard time acquiring talent otherwise.
You got some fellas.
That's the thing that I think I'm the most annoyed by.
Was it G League dropout? Bediako knows that he has to be going through that. Well, how would you like to be Bailey? You coming back?
I understand why the players do it. If you think you're this guy and you're going and you think you're going to be in the NBA and making all this money and you're not, it's clearly not happening.
I had a thing though. Can I just tell you this and put myself on Front Street?
Yeah.
So I went through a stretch where I felt like guys were so mismanaged coming out of the NFL, they should be able to test their draft and then be able to come back to college.
Mm-hmm.
But that was without them
actually playing anything, which I'm more okay with.
That's kind of
I don't have a problem
I don't want to
with
be
that.
hip. So if anybody that's listened to you
though.
forever, like I was a big fan of that.
I don't think that's hypocritical. I think if you test the waters and you come back and you're like, hey, and you never sign the contract, you never go play, like I'm fine with that. You see where you're at. You saw it with the who's old boy from Kentucky that won a lawsuit doing that. This is like probably 10 years ago now. He went through the draft process, didn't get drafted.
I know what you're talking about.
He had to sit out a year or something or a semester, but they let him come back.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that whatsoever.
And no, Shane, it wasn't Tim Couch. That was early 2000.
No, I'm talking basketball.
No, I just messing with Shane.
Yeah. Well, he's always sitting on his Tim Couch over there, so you gotta. But like, I don't have a problem with that at all. If you go through the process, you don't sign the contract, you never play. You just see where you're at. Like, I don't care. That's what baseball does that. I don't care.
I'm kind of salty. Like, I had an irrational hate for that Tennessee game, and I hate Tennessee last week. But I was telling you guys, I was like, I'm out on the Bediako thing.
I love the chance. G League dropout. That's great. Do it.
Yeah.
Get him. Like, it's whatever. Like,
they better not get. And I've been studying my case if TK wants me on his team.
Yeah.
Like, the SC better not use conference depth or anything to try to validate some of these seed lines for college basketball because, Florida's going to make the case for the best team, in my opinion, in that conference. And if Vanderbilt is the next best team, don't be giving me the potential of Arkansas or Alabama or Georgia.
You like Tennessee?
No, they're okay.
Kentucky's only okay.
But I can just see the argument starting with the quote unquote depth.
They're gonna give you the same BS that the football side of things does. It'd be like, oh, the only reason we took so many losses because look how good everybody is. It's like, no, some of you were all just mediocre. That's fine. Like, I look at the SEC, I'm like, that's not a very good conference this year. They're fine.
Were you surprised? Because it's not like, the ACC has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They have 7 teams in the top. Well, they have 8 in the top 8 of net rankings, and nobody's talking about the depth of the ACC.
No, not at all. And for the most part, I think rightfully so. Like, I think the ACC is better than the SEC this year. But outside of –
oh, do you?
Yes, I do. Outside of Duke, who's elite in the ACC?
Elite?
Yeah.
There probably isn't one. But I'm telling you.
I would make the same case for the SEC, though, too.
But I am telling you.
Outside of Florida, is there anybody you think in that conference going to win a national title?
No, because I can't see Vandy winning a national title, and I do think they're the next best team.
So there you go. Like, you're looking at it, like, I think there are more better teams in the ACC than there are in the SEC, but you're going to get this whole narrative about, well, look at all this. We just beat each other up. It's so hard to be us.
So conversely, I think SEC has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, same number.
Mm-hmm.
Roughly the same number of teams in the top 38 of the net rankings as the ACC.
You got to be careful with metrics, though, with major conferences.
I know, because
they skew so badly.
Because Georgia's ahead of, like, SMU.
Yeah. Also, when you've got
not that that's egregious.
No, but when you've got a bunch of teams that are pretty good or okay, just you would have a bunch of above average teams, it jacks the metrics up super high.
Yeah.
Like, it does. And so I don't sit here and I go, I don't care at all.
Like, are you like rock set that Georgia would beat Miami? No. That game's a coin flip.
I sit here and I go, I don't care about Kentucky at all. I don't think that's a good basketball team.
It's a good win they had, though.
I look at Auburn. I don't care about them at all. I don't think that's a good basketball team. I look at Georgia. I don't think that's a very good basketball team.
Auburn beat Florida.
I know. That's the problem with Florida is they look incredible and then they poop the bed.
He said they're one of the more fascinating teams in college basketball. I agree.
This is the Florida.
So all my hot basketball takes that started since November when you told me I crossed over early. I'm not crazy.
No, you're not crazy.
All right.
You did cross over early.
Are you ever going to call me like DB a hoops head?
Well, I mean, you are a hoops head. I didn't know you needed the validation.
Oh, just.
What do you care?
But I sit here and I go, okay, so here's my problem with Florida. Is early in the season, you lose to TCU. I don't think a ton of TCU. You start conference play, you lose to Missouri. I don't think much of Missouri.
Oh, they're
you
bad.
Go, you have
bad.
You have a nice little stretch. You lose to Auburn. I don't think much of Auburn. So quit losing these games against mediocre ass teams.
All right. So I asked you about Georgia. I've asked you about Arkansas. I've asked you about Alabama. You want another one that's kind of bugging me?
Which one?
That's in the SEC.
Sure.
What do you think about Texas A&M?
I don't know what to make of Texas A&M. I know what the record is.
They're like top 35-ish in net.
Are they?
Man, like right there, 36, 35.
Yeah, they're right at 35. They're like 34, 35, Ken Palm. So let's see. What's their best win? They don't have one.
They don't. Yeah, they don't really have a good win.
Which is what and they've got some losses. Oklahoma State is whatever. UCF is whatever. SMU is whatever.
How many quad one wins does A&M have?
A&M has
3.
They are 3-3 in quad one.
That's
They're
it?
12, 6, and they've only got 3 quad 2 games.
Huh.
So they're only that's like a mid-major resume, 5-3.
I asked because they're top 35 net in KenPom, and they're in the. I'm just trying to build my case against the depth of the SEC.
Here's why they get credit here, because in KenPom, Georgia is 40. I don't think Georgia's very good. Texas is 34. I don't think Texas is very good. Oklahoma is
Texas is weird.
66.
They apparently have found a pulse.
Auburn is 26. I don't think Auburn's very good. LSU is 47. I don't think LSU is very good. So they're getting all of the back end of the metrics teams that are getting the benefit of losing to the couple of teams in the SEC that are actually good. And so they're beating those teams. It's like, okay, great. Look, we have Texas A&M who's going to fall their way into like a 5 seed or something. And I'll be like, what am I supposed to do with that? I don't think that's a very good basketball team.
Because I'm just trying to.
I'm just dreading getting
build my case.
I'm dreading getting like 10 SEC teams in here and be like, what? We know these teams aren't good. We saw them all year.
Wasn't that your rant last year?
Yes. That's the entire thing that drives me crazy about the back end of these power conferences getting all these bids. It's like we saw these teams play all the other teams in the tournament already, and they kept losing. Why do we have to keep doing this?
Can I give you a sneaky good one?
What's that?
Did you watch, and I gave you all the press conferences from Cronin because you staunchly defended that lunatic.
Last year, because last year his rant was different than it was this year. It wasn't a blanket defense of Cronin.
Did you watch Indiana UCLA? Go ahead. That was hilarious.
I'm upset with everybody in that locker room, my assistant coaches and my players. I mean, I don't need to do anything else. I almost got 500 wins. I'm only 53. The hungry dog gets the bone.
Yeah, that was your guy.
Yeah, last year's rant was different than this year's rant.
Ravi, you love him.
Knock it off. I don't even like him.
The guy says.
I don't even.
It's a joke.
Reporter says, "Hey, did you ever get any clarity? What do you think?" They gave them the ball.
About who they are.
I don't even like him that much.
There's no way he could be that curmudgeon-y.
I'm just.
So what the truth.
And I just talked to Coach Lewis, who was with him in UCLA before he got the job at the MAC, and he was like, "Look, man, he's better than that. He's not really like that."
I don't know. He seems a lot like he might be like that. Maybe
when Rutgers almost goes and beats SC. Like, I don't know. The Big Ten is weird.
The Big Ten is weird.
Northwestern lost at home to Washington.
Yeah, I don't.
Although Steinbach did go ham.
I'm telling you, Steinbach is good.
I know you like him.
Steinbach he's the only guy on that team I actually like. I think you can keep.
I can keep Yates or Diallo.
Well, if Yates ever plays, I'll let you know.
The three combined for like 65.
Yeah, you keep Diallo. I don't want any.
Of the 76.
I've got you want to buy some more Diallo stock? It's on the it's a
No, I'm good.
It's
I'm just telling
it's a pink sheet. You can get those penny stocks for him. No, I don't think he is.
Wow.
All right. I don't think so.
Can I ask you one thing about Nebraska's schedule coming up?
You ask me whatever you want.
So Rutgers acted like they had a pulse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's in Piscataway. That's 11 o'clock this weekend.
That could be a sleepy game.
So I'll give you at Rutgers, at the house against Purdue, and at home against Northwestern. What's Nebraska go in those three games?
I think they go 3-0. Okay. So in any other year, I would look at the Rutgers game.
I think Rutgers is going to have if Nebraska's locked in, Rutgers will have a difficult time scoring.
They're not going to be able to score at all. Like that. I'm assuming we got 6 more days. I'm assuming I get a healthy Rink Mast at this point.
Yeah.
It looked like Frager was full health. Like he looked like he was moving around great. I don't have. This is a game in most years of my life experiencing Nebraska basketball that I would look at and I go,
Casey and JoJo.
Oh my, yeah. Took me a second on that one, but I got you.
You're getting better.
In most of the years of my life watching Nebraska basketball, that's a game that I'm worried about. Not this year.
Yeah.
They haven't lost those games this year. They just haven't. They've gone and taken care of business pretty convincingly every time they face the situation. I have no reason to believe they won't. If I think they're fully healthy, which I think they will be. They got 6 days to be fully healthy, which I think is fine. I think they beat Purdue at home. I just do. And then I think they beat Northwestern at home. Like that's not they hammered Northwestern on the road.
I know.
That's not a good Northwestern team. They're good. I feel really good about 3-0 there. Iowa gets pretty interesting.
Hot Danger's nuts.
What did Hot Danger say?
I might need him on my roster just for levity. But over time, while Kobe's busy slitting throats wanting to win, do you think Hot Danger would he get mad at him for not being serious enough?
Maybe. I don't know. It depends.
You know this draft is going to happen.
Oh, for sure. I told you this is an off-season draft. We got to get it done. We got to get
this is going to happen.
We got to get an announcer up in here to announce the draft picks like Roger Goodell. You know,
my man Kerry, he says, DB, I don't know why you don't sprinkle $25 on all your college basketball teams you have takes on. You'd have a damn good profile of teams in the pocket. Yeah, I love this sport.
The Hot Danger says, be wary of high scorers on a bad team. They might be doing their squad more harm than good.
Is he talking about Harper?
Could be talking about a lot of guys.
Dude, did you hear Don? You might have turned down the volume, but he was going into why Harper scoring points on a bad team doesn't translate to coming over to Creighton. I was like, wow, we're really doing this.
So there's
we are really doing this.
My argument wouldn't have been Harper. It would have been Graves.
Yeah, but you guys didn't love Graves.
No, I didn't
love him.
I didn't like his game at Charlotte, but I also was very wary. Part of the reason
Harper was a bucket getter, though.
Yeah,
But what were they, 10 and 20?
Sure, but I also have to put I liked the look of Harper's game more than the look of Graves' game, and when you're playing at a school that's struggling, doesn't have a lot of resources, and doesn't have a lot of other good players, sometimes I'll look at that and I go, okay, Harper was the focal point of every scouting report of every team that they played the entire year and still was able to get buckets.
He's such a tough matchup if he just do the right thing.
Yeah, and I also give him a little bit extra credit because he's young. Like, I give him a little extra credit because he's young.
Yeah.
Graves has been doing this for a while. He doesn't get much leeway.
Oh, you know where I look really, really smart?
Where?
The whole Dix versus
Sandfort thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think about that a lot, and it makes me mad.
And Dix is my guy.
Makes me pretty mad, if I'm being honest with you.
I think I nailed that.
I'm pretty salty about it. I'm also pretty salty that Creighton didn't feel the need to recruit a point guard at all. Seems like a bit of an oversight.
And you know what's funny?
You know what I was right on, though?
You just never know. Because we acted like, and Nebraska staff did, but let's not act like we knew Jamarcus Lawrence was going to be sweet coming back.
No, we didn't.
Like, he's way better. He's playing way better than we thought.
He's playing way better than he probably ever has in his life.
So I'm like, the portal is tough.
You have to get a little fortunate.
You just don't know.
But when you make bad decisions on the front end, it's hard to get fortunate.
I mean, you think Creighton thought this is what they were getting with Freeman?
No.
Like, that was a prize get.
Absolutely. Then don't let anybody fool you. Almost everybody in the country wanted that guy.
Oh yeah.
Like that. Like let's not.
Oh yeah. That's yeah.
That's factual.
That's fact.
Like, so I don't kill him.
That
was a big win for them, and I don't kill them over Freeman. I don't kill them over Dix either, because that's a guy that had been productive at a high level at a major conference. He's having a weird year. I don't know what to do with it. I don't kill him for that one either. The one that I cannot get past is the eval on Nick Graves. It doesn't make any sense. And listen, I'm not saying he's a bad guy or even a bad basketball player. He doesn't fit stylistically what they want to do and never has. There was 0% chance he was going to be able to play point guard the way they wanted him to. That's never been his game. And if you watch it, that's never who he was going to be. So that's the one where I'm like, not sure what we were thinking here, guys. That's the one that I'll go to task on, because I wanted Blake Harper too. I was like, hey, that guy's a bucket. I think he's going to translate.
I still kind of like him.
I do too, and I think he's got times. You know the one I'm going to take a victory lap on, though, because nobody was talking about this guy? I was pretty high on Austin Swartz from the start.
Yeah. I kind of mocked you.
Yeah, a lot of people did. It's all right. Austin Swartz is a good basketball player.
I kind of mocked you. Well, it needs context, though, because that was the beginning of the solution to your problems. And I was like, how? He's not going to be able to turn
yeah.
I mean, some of what I was saying I thought was true,
Yeah.
but they are using him differently.
Yeah, they're using him better. But like I thought there was enough there that he could be.
Was that the off the bounce discussion and getting into the paint?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that went a long time.
It did. Yeah, we had a long conversation about that one. Long conversation. It's all right. Yeah. Probably not as long conversation we're going to keep having about Darren Peterson.
It's when you dig in.
I don't know what it is. Like
I know what it is. He doesn't play enough for you. Like, you don't think he's good. It's not that he's good enough. You don't like that he appears to be calling the shots on when he wants to play or not.
I don't like that it appears that I'm not sure how much he likes playing basketball.
Yeah.
Which is a real problem in the NBA. No matter how talented you are.
100%.
Like, I don't like you're going to be playing 3 times as many games and you can't play 30 in college.
I had a coach ask me, I know we got to go, but
we don't have to do anything.
I had a coach ask me yesterday, which sport do I think it is the least amount of correlation between college and pro?
Oh.
And I answered immediately. I should have thought about it. At first blush, I said baseball.
I actually was thinking about baseball a lot when you just asked that.
I'm not so sure it's not basketball.
There's some guys that are incredible college baseball players that are never going to sniff the league. But
Michael Roth.
Yeah, that's a great the pitcher from South Carolina. That's a great example. A lot of hitters too, though. A lot of hitters.
Yeah.
Basketball is tough, man. You triple the amount of games you're playing.
Do you know how many good players can't play college basketball?
Don't sniff the NBA.
Players of the year.
Yes.
So it has to be in the discussion.
I had this conversation about this is like a decade ago.
So if I told you when Baylor won in 21 that Flagler and Cryer weren't going to get drafted,
I'd have been stunned. You remember Peyton Siva?
Yes.
That's a dude. I had this knockdown drag out.
You don't think I had Louisville on the brain and your criteria?
Yeah. I had this knockdown drag out with one of the kids that was playing at Grace for me at the time. He was convinced this guy, because he just watched the tournament or whatever, was going to be a top, I think he said like a lottery pick, like a top 15 pick. And I go, that guy's not getting drafted in the first round, I promise.
Yeah, and I'm thinking so much. I'm talking routine ground balls, comebackers. Like everybody in the league was Florida's bullpen 2 years ago. I mean, they're touching the rubber at like 98, right?
Yeah.
So I still think it's baseball.
Basketball's closer than people think.
So how is the most physically demanding of the bunch the closest in football?
So here's the art. I think it matters positionally some.
Well, outside of quarterback.
Even wide receiver. There's a lot of really good wide receivers that never figure it out in the NFL. Yeah. But here's what I think it is. I think there is a level of first.
Bellevue Joey's with you on Mick.
So, and somebody brought this up in baseball. You're talking about again 3.5 times more games. I do think the sample sizes matter a lot. Football, you're getting about the same sample size.
Yeah, but in basketball and baseball, you've played the sport for so long.
I get
Usually
that.
good hitters are good hitters.
I get that, but you're talking about.
I'm talking about just the play, right? These guys in the major league, they make routine plays that we just kick around in college.
Yeah, absolutely. And
they just kick it around.
I think there is a sample size thing that matters. The other thing is, I think football has way more, if you are willing to go through it, there's a decent chance you find a way to be successful if you have that base level of ability.
Yeah.
Whereas if you have the base level of ability in these other sports.
That's probably a different discussion because then you're introducing intangibles.
Yes.
Which is what I think bothers is why the NBA is
Yeah, they're
so
terrible
weird.
at intangibles. It's the reason I will just pound my I remember asking Jacob Padilla 6 years ago, whenever this was. I go, shouldn't it matter to everybody that Markelle Fultz didn't win at all at Washington? And I don't remember if it was him or Matt that answered flatly, quickly, and rudely, nope. Feels like it might have a little. People ignore, and maybe I'm more sensitive to it because I was having this discussion with.
Well, you remember I used to honk for Jalen Suggs because I called him a winner.
Yeah,
and people talked about his limited offensive game and stuff, and he's still playing in the league at a really good level.
Yes, and he will continue to play. There will always be a place for him in the league, right? But
although I didn't know he was going bald. Shoot,
look at Michael Beasley.
Oh, Bucket Beasley.
Bucket Beasley, he's having a good time in China. Wow. You think he's not talented still to this day than half the guys on the back end of rosters?
Yeah.
What are we talking about here?
He'd go get you 9 tomorrow.
Yeah, the problem is he has to be in the locker room after that. That's the Michael Beasley problem. It's not about on the floor. It's about everything else. Is you got to share a plane with that guy.
Oh, man.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We'll be back. More Hurrdat Sports Live tomorrow.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.